years of empty claims, with hangars full of garbage and dreams that never came. Now he's fishing for new suckers to store more junk inside, while promising his gullible fans hover cars and free energy rides.
We are working on anti-gravity. As soon as we get finance, which again is coming very soon.
Divine insights were handed down, but now they cost a fee. In the wacky world of Wilcock, that's the way it's gotta be. Financial resets, debts erased, a world so fair and bright. The alliance never came, and neither did his wife. The wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. It's the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. Just buy my course, $300. Enlightenment's the deal. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. Extraterrestrial pals, they're coming here to stay. Disclosure's always just around, but aliens delay. Law of one, the Bible, Bhagavad Gita, all mixed up in one. David's stealing from the best, but his fans think it's a brand new one. Plagiarized and profit, that's his favorite routine. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where nonsense reigns supreme, we'll all get rainbow bodies, whatever that might mean. And Jesus is an alien, the wildest thing you've seen. David's on a hero's journey through dimensions far and wide. Draco reptilians know where he lives, so in his mansion he must hide. Catastrophes and end times were on the brink, he said, but my coffee's brewing nicely, and I'm still in my bed. The wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. It's the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. Just buy my course, $300. Enlightenment's the deal. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. No one's suffering like David in his mansion grand and tall, with eyes and steak and chicken, he's the loneliest of all. His teeth are fake as his prophecies, and courses that he sells. In the wacky world of Wilcock, he's ringing all the bells.
If we bathe in our own urine, we can gain superpowers. Doing the bath does help. You urinate before you get into the bathtub, and then you drink new water out of a glass, and when you're in the bathtub, you can do a little more.
Buy my course, $300. Enlightenment's the deal. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. His PowerPoint slides are packed with schizophrenic rants, forced to stream on YouTube now, bankruptcy's a stance. Stavati Aerospace, a Ponzi scheme they say, so pay pigs better pay up, or like Corey Good he'll stay. So many dates, so many dreams, none of them come true. But hey, don't fret, just buy the course and I'll enlighten you.
For God's sake, take the deal, okay? But you have to take the deal and you have to cooperate. Rise, rise, rise. And you feel yourself, kinetic energy of levitation, tingling across your skin.
In 2012, we all ascend, a cosmic shift was due. But here we are in 24, and nothing much is new. Mass arrests and cabal busts, beliefs should quake in fear, yet they're still here, sipping wine, and we're all stuck right here in a world of greer and good, crush and loot. With their claims, nobody tops David Wilcock, with his fringe and wacky games, while they're sharing UFOs and theories kinda tame. David's got aliens who wanna sleep with him and eat him, what a shame. He's the master of the bizarre, with rainbow bodies on display. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where nonsense leads the way. So here's to Dave, the shyster bold, the tale so far-fetched and grand. In his world of make-believe, where fantasy's second-hand, he strings his fairy tales and lies between his YouTube streams for his cat crystal ladies who gobble up his dreams.
Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome. Today we are here still starved of new David Wilcock content, but it's okay because we have part two of a interview he did in 2016 where he essentially repeats the same bullshit that he's been repeating for the last 2 years. So we're good on that. And everyone is speculating. It's been 4 weeks, and David Wilcock famously is destitute, barely able to survive on his YouTube earnings of $258,000 a year. Do we remember that? Where he was crying and complaining because he only makes $258,000 a year. Many different people have estimated that he makes somewhere between $2,000 and $10,000 per YouTube live stream. So on the top end, not streaming for the past 4 weeks, he could have lost out on $40,000 worth of income. Not a very smart idea for somebody who is claiming that they so desperately need money. But as luck would have it, Macario and the rest of the gang on Twitter have sleuthed out what may have happened and why David Wilcock hasn't worked in 4 whole weeks. And I think it's multiple reasons. Now, I'll freely admit this is speculation. We're just trying to figure out, why did David Wilcock suddenly take a 4-week vacation? And how do we explain that month-long vacation with virtually no explanation from the piss bather himself? And I think there's multiple reasons. First of all, friends, as we have detailed here, David Wilcock is about to get caught scamming his audience yet again. For those unaware, David Wilcock ran the Ascension is Coming Soon scam. That's the scam he's running right now, but he's run that scam twice before. Once leading up to the year 2000, and Ascension never came. And he took a bunch of money from people to prepare them for Ascension, leading up to the year 2000, of course. And then again, leading up to the year 2012, Ascension was supposed to come. We were all supposed to get rainbow light bodies and superpowers and a utopian world, and that didn't happen. And he scammed his audience for money leading up to that. And for the past several years, David Wilcock has claimed to be in communication with the Archangel Michael, who told him that Ascension was coming by 2025, specifically by May of 2025. And of course, Ascension never came, and neither did David Wilcock's wife. So in just a few short days, friends, and we have been running the countdown here. And the countdown shows us, pardon me, someday we'll get the hang of this here. The old software automatically did that when you went to share the screen. I don't know why this one doesn't, but it's okay. So, friends, just 65 more days, and David Wilcock's latest Ascension is Coming Soon scam will come crashing down. And I just want to put it on the record. David Wilcock, you vilified me to your audience. You told your audience that I was a Satan worshiper and a child predator. By the way, do you still think there's not going to be any consequences for you telling, 500,000 subscribers of yours that I'm a child predator with absolutely no evidence whatsoever? And what kind of a degenerate scumbag dirtball says that about a good family man, a person who is a husband and father of children with absolutely no evidence? You called me a child predator. You told everyone I was a Satan worshiper. And why did you do that? Because you're an intellectual weakling and a coward, unable or unwilling to debate me on the merits of this case. I have successfully proven that David Wilcock scams his audience more than anybody on the internet. And he doesn't like that. He likes to be able to just scam people and no one be able to stand up to him and say, "Excuse me, sir, you're scamming your audience." And I've done that multiple times. There's the Convergence Pictures LLC scam, in which he took money from investors to make a film. And then he never made a film. Imagine that. That was a scam, in my opinion. There was the Pete Peterson GoFundMe scam, in which Jimmy Church was involved in helping advertise that one. And Pete Peterson claimed that Pete Peterson, his house was getting stolen from him by the government, and they were trashing all of his belongings and running over them with bulldozers, and the police were entering his home, and they even stole his mother's ashes. All of that was fraud because it was a routine mortgage foreclosure on a house that Pete Peterson never had any legal right to. That was actually his girlfriend's house. So that was a scam. That's the Pete Peterson GoFundMe scam. Then there was the Emery Smith PayPal donation scam, in which the UFO community was scammed out of something like $50,000. And if you're keeping track, the Pete Peterson scam was $60,000. That's $110,000 scammed out of the UFO community. And in the Emery Smith PayPal donation scam, David Wilcock claimed that Emery Smith was under attack by the deep state and I guess the men in black. But it turns out, and he ended up in the hospital, but it turns out Emery Smith was in the hospital because he got attacked by a bottle of vodka. Yeah, he was in the hospital for self-induced alcohol poisoning. So that was a scam. Then we get the anti-gravity free energy scam, in which David Wilcock promised everyone that you too could do free energy and anti-gravity if you just give them $333. And an awful lot of people gave him $333, but no one was able to actually create free energy or anti-gravity. So I guess that was a scam. And we've mentioned the Ascension is Coming Soon scam that he ran twice. Now we're into the third running of the Ascension is Coming Soon scam, because for the past several years, David Wilcock has promised his dumb as rocks, idiot, retarded followers that Ascension's coming in 2025. But my friends, David Wilcock has got a problem, because in just 65 more days, David Wilcock, everyone is going to know that you scammed them yet again, because you promised everyone Ascension in 2025. And so far, Ascension hasn't come. Just like your wife never came, Ascension never came, David Wilcock. And I'm here to tell you, how dare you fucking go on a public live stream and tell everybody I'm a child predator and I'm a Satan worshiper and I'm a terrorist and I'm a thief and I stole money out of your bank account and I got you swatted. All of that is lies. Lies designed specifically to target me, to vilify me and make me a bad person in the eyes of people on the internet so that nobody believes me that you're scamming your audience. But here we are again, Mr. Wilcock, just 65 more days until Stephen Cambion gets another win and you take another big loss, you loser. You're not smart enough to do this with me, Mr. Wilcock. You're not powerful enough. You don't have enough testosterone to do this with me, you little twink pussy. You can't do this with me, Mr. Wilcock. 65 more days, and the proof that you scammed your audience yet again will come. And I will be here to dance on the grave of your latest scam and to claim victory in a battle that has raged. You're right, Mr. Wilcock. He said, he's been doing this to me for years. He's been talking shit on me for years. No, I've been exposing your scams for years, and the battle has continued for years and years. And over the past several years, I have effectively totally destroyed your ability to scam your audience. And that, my friends, is why Mr. Wilcock is taking time off. He doesn't know what to do. And the tendrils of the mind virus that I have injected into David Wilcock. Let's see. There was a while there for months and months and months that every live stream he was complaining about me, stealing from him, terrorizing him, stalking him, harassing him. None of this is true. All I did is go on the internet and show people what a scammer he is. And it's been glorious. And in just 65 more days, we will have our most glorious victory yet. Because we will once again have proven that David Wilcock slandered me, defamed me, tried to damage my reputation, tried to claim that I was getting arrested by the police and I was under criminal investigation. How long do you think, Mr. Wilcock, you're going to be able to keep telling people that I'm under criminal investigation? Here I am, dickhead. Here I am. There's no criminal investigation into me. And of course, he told people he's going to sue me for slander. For what? Saying that you're not in communication with angels? Saying that you're scamming your audience? Claiming that you have psychic powers and that Ascension is coming? It's called free speech, you dumbass. Look it up. I'm allowed to go on the internet and express my opinion. And in my opinion, you're the biggest new age scammer out there and the boldest. And for decades now, Mr. Wilcock has been somehow allowed by the powers that be to just go on the internet and scam people out of literally millions of dollars by Corey Good's statements in court. David Wilcock has made millions of dollars selling these bullshit ascension courses or anti-gravity courses or whatever. Millions of dollars he has taken in from morons. And what has he given them? Trash. Nothing. Your information is worthless, David Wilcock. Just like your manhood and your libido, apparently, because his wife left him for a cucumber because he couldn't even make a woman come. That's what a pussy David Wilcock is. That's how worthless he is. When you can't make your wife come, you are a little nothing of a man. And that's what he is, a little nothing of a man who just spends his life scamming retarded people on the internet, who believe somehow that this angelic ascension is going to come and we're all going to live in a utopian society. And I guess we're all going to sit around a campfire and sing Kumbaya together. And there'll be free energy and anti-gravity and open extraterrestrial contact. And we'll all be able to telepathically communicate and levitate. Wait, why do we need hover cars if we can levitate? I don't know. I don't make this shit up. David Wilcock does. He's the scammer. I'm just the guy talking about this. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But I do know, friends, that David Wilcock is terrified of January 1st, 2026. Because come January 1st, 2026, everyone, including his retarded dumb as rocks followers, and, you know, I try to be kind, but really, at this point, I've educated enough people on the internet that if you still believe anything David Wilcock says, you literally have to be at least a little bit retarded. Maybe not a full tard, but at least a half tard. That's what I think. And we're going to take a moment. So 65 more days. The countdown is here, David Wilcock. Tick-tock, motherfucker. Tick-tock. You only got 65 more days to scam retards on the internet. But it gets better. It gets better. So David Wilcock, I thought he had no shame. But it turns out he does have some shame. Because if you notice, I have been checking his last few live streams. Even his moron retard followers are starting to ask, like, where's the ascension you promised us? One person even said something like, I paid $333 for your revelations about ascension, and you said it would come in 2025 by May, and it hasn't come, David. Did you just take my money? And ascension's not coming? His retards are starting to get disappointed. Where's the ascension you promised us, Mr. Wilcock? Where's the ascension I gave you $333 to hear all about? And it didn't come, just like his wife. But in 65 more days, Truth Seekers and Stephen Cambion, that would be me, we get another big win. And David Wilcock, your followers will know why you called me a child predator. Your followers will know why you called me a Satan worshiper. Your followers will know why you falsely accused me of getting you swatted. Your followers will know why you told that animal control officer that I've done all these terrible things. All your followers will know that you said all those things because I was telling the truth while you were lying to them. And I think it's kind of funny. You know, my show's called Truth Seekers, David Wilcock. You're trying to tell your audience that I make my living lying to people. No, unlike you, Mr. Wilcock, I make my living exposing the truth to people. You have made your living lying to people. All of your information is trash. It's garbage. It's worthless. Your ancient aliens, trash, mistranslations, and pseudoscience, garbage, fake as shit. And every real archaeologist, anthropologist agrees with me. Historian, they all agree with me. Your ancient alien stuff is trash. Your secret space stuff, that was all fake. Oh, I forgot that. That was another one. The secret space scam he ran with Corey Good, in which he scammed the audiences out of millions of dollars for completely fake stories that those two clowns claimed were true. 65 more days, David Wilcock. Tick-tock, motherfucker. It's all coming crashing down, and we're here for it. Yes, we are. And we're going to take a moment to recognize some kind and generous souls in the live chat. We have Charles McDonald, one of the MVPs of gifting Truth Seekers memberships, who has gifted 5 Truth Seekers memberships. And this, my friends, is why you got to hit that subscribe button, because when a kind and generous benefactor and great supporter like Charles McDonald comes here and gives these memberships, you could win one, but you must be in the live chat and you must be a subscriber. And then YouTube somehow randomly distributes these free gifted memberships to you people who are subscribers but not yet members. So make sure you smash that subscribe button, become a member. Already 5 people, thanks to the kindness of Charles McDonald, 5 people have become members for free, for absolutely free. They've won a free membership. You can too. Smash that subscribe button and praise the cash, bitches.
I had a dream of a big phallic being rammed up my rear, which Michael showed me was you praising the cash. Help me have more dreams like this, so praise the cash.
Oh, nightmare fuel. And I've got more for you. Thank you, Charles McDonald. And we've got Southern Muse 3 with $20, a very kind and generous super chat. And we've got a very meager goal tonight. By the way, just so everybody's aware, I read every single super chat. We thank every person, whether you gift a sub on Kick or become a subscriber on Kick, whether you gift memberships on YouTube or send a super chat or a super sticker. I read every one of them. If you buy me a beer, if you, what else? Send a PayPal pledge. And I will do that. Southern Muse 3, encouraging me to keep exposing the scams. I will be sure to do that. And I want to thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Oh, and if you become a member on the live broadcast, I give you a big shout out and a thank you for becoming a live member during the live broadcast. Let's get some memberships. Let's get a good goal streak going. We have hit the goal. We were hitting the goal every week for like 3 weeks. And then we had a rough night on, what was it, last Friday, but I get it. It was a serious show, and I get it. A lot of people come here to laugh. And what I've decided I'm going to do is, even when I do a serious show, I'm going to put some comedic bits in it, because a lot of people just come here to laugh at these scams and have a good time. And on Friday, we did a very academically researched, seriously investigated, hard-hitting investigative journalism piece. And one of my friends who's also a content creator is like, well, you know why you didn't hit the goal, Steven? It was too serious, and people weren't having a good enough time. There wasn't a lot of funny parts. So lesson learned. You know, maybe that's why. You never know. But we hit our goal for weeks and weeks in a row, so I really can't complain. And I'm not complaining, by the way. I'm just saying, let's get a good goal streak going. The super chats for tonight's goal, we need 20 of $5 each or more. And we've already got one, thanks to Southern Muse, and thank you for the kindness, generosity, and support. Thank you, Southern Muse, and praise the cash.
Edgar Casey predicted you would be praising the cash, and since I am the reincarnation of Casey, I am telling you to praise the cash. Praise the cash.
And there we go. H-Bomb, you didn't have to do that. This guy, oh my God. By the way, shout out to H-Bomb. For those unaware, H-Bomb makes some of the funniest Darkside Phil content. He takes Darkside Phil clips and then he puts either a gay voice or a child voice. I prefer the child voice. And now I can't watch Darkside Phil content without hearing him in a child's voice. You know, if you've watched the show, we've played some of his clips. And thank you, H-Bomb, for your kindness, generosity, and support. Big support. New member, thank you.
Besides developing jets that travel Mach 69, Chris Beskar likes to praise the cash, so praise the cash.
And by the way, big shout out to H-Bomb, because H-Bomb happens to be an excellent, I guess, what is it, like a HVAC technician, heating and air conditioning and all that stuff. And listen, I've been living in this house for like 5 years, and for 5 years, we've had this weird problem with our heater, and that is 2 rooms in my house. The radiators just don't work. And in my old house, if that happened, you bleed the radiators. But in this house, there's no bleeders on the radiators. I tried from the heater. Somebody said, well, you got to bleed it from the heater. Listen, it was a whole process. And big shout out and thank you to H-Bomb. I would have bought you a membership, dude. He came here today, and all it cost me was a pizza. I tried to give him some gas money. He wouldn't take it. He came here today, and he fixed a 5-year-old problem in my house. And I'm so happy about this, because the 2 rooms that have no heat are the rooms that I use, the studio and the office. They're kind of spare bedrooms in my house. And since they have no heat, you know, I don't want my kids in a room with no heat. My wife doesn't like those electric radiators or electric heaters. She thinks they're a fire hazard. So we put the kids in the rooms where the radiators work, and my wife in a room. So I had the rooms for years with no heat, and I was always struggling with these electric heaters, and I'd leave them on. My wife would get pissed. Anyway, he was here for a little while today. I couldn't believe how quickly he fixed it. He knew exactly what to do. I don't know. And it was a little more complicated than I thought. You know, he had to bleed each section or something. And anyway, he fixed it. So big shout out to H-Bomb. Go to his channel, subscribe to his channel, and support good content creators. And now I owe him a favor. He owed me a favor. Now I owe him a favor. We did help him get monetized, but now I owe him a favor because he came all the way here. He wouldn't even take gas money. Big shout out and thank you to H-Bomb. Every day I'm in my office warm, I will be thinking of his kindness and generosity. And that's karma, friends. I helped him out. He helped me out. Now I got to help him out back. So great. And thank you for becoming a new member. Thank you, H-Bomb. And thanks for the heat. The big problem is when it's really, really cold out, you know, I'd wake up in the morning and I'd go in the office and it's freezing in there. No heat, nothing. So I'd have to turn on the electric heater and wait an hour before I could even begin working. So now I don't have to do that. It'll just be warm in there. I was so happy earlier, H-Bomb. I went in there. I was like, oh my God, it's so warm in here. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Humbled Honey with one for the goal says he didn't take into account a real UFO comment would show up. He's afraid of being asked about it. You could be right. I think, okay, we'll get into the reasons why he's taking a vacation. But that, my friends, is one for the goal. And we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Much, much appreciated. Let's get a new goal streak going, my friends. I've learned my lesson. I'm going to try to make every show as funny and entertaining as the previous so we keep hitting these goals. All the funny shows where I was going off like a lunatic hit the goal. Not so much with the serious ones, but I got to throw one in once in a while. Thank you, Humboldt Honey, and also thank you for being a member. Big support tonight from Humboldt Honey. Let's go, bitches!
Kid Steven said he would leave me alone if I called him Daddy. Praise the cash, Daddy. Praise the cash, Daddy.
I'm never going to leave him alone. Never. But thank you, Humboldt Honey. And let's go. We've got another kind and generous person in the audience. We've got Face to the Screen with one for the goal. I was working on a guy's house that was talking about David Wilcock and Corey Good. He listens to your show. We were laughing. Cool guy, generous tipper. Well, yeah, good to hear that. And thank you so much, Face to the Screen, for two things, being a member and helping us to hit a new goal streak. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support.
Q post 696969 clearly shows that President Trump wants you to praise the cash. Drain the swamp by praising the cash.
All right. Thank you for your kindness. Face to the Screen's been a show supporter for a long time, and we appreciate that. And same with H-Bomb. I would have given him a free membership or bought him one. I don't know if he could buy a specific person one. I would have given him the $5 anyway. Thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support. And checking in with the goal, we're at, let's see, 3 of 20. I think we'll hit it. We didn't even get to the content yet. So let's get to some of that. So, I want to share my screen here. We have some clues about why David Wilcock is taking so much time off. And that is because he's a lazy slob. So here is a home. And by the way, he's going to accuse me of doxing him. I'm not doxing him. These are public records, realtor.com. Anybody can find this. And Macario says, oh, wait. I see why Wilcock might have taken some time off. He might have gotten some money. So this is apparently David Wilcock's childhood home, which he wanted to start a shrine to his ego in, but apparently he couldn't afford to keep it. So he sold his parents' childhood home, which means that's kind of another win, right, for him. Because I'm sure his parents just gave him this house, right? I don't know if his father is still alive. I think so. And I think his mother is still alive. But for whatever reason, David Wilcock ended up owning his childhood home. And just last week, a few days ago, the home sold for $220,000. Now, if you know anything about real estate, that probably means he's going to walk with somewhere between $180,000 and $200,000 after the realtors and all the fees and the transfers and the title change and all that stuff. But still, so we have some clue here about why David Wilcock might not have been streaming for the past month. He knew he was getting a big payoff. And also, he's totally too embarrassed to he's totally too embarrassed to face his audience because they're starting to ask too many questions about the coming ascension and why it never came. So, yeah, he scammed his way into his childhood home. That is right. Madonna song about a material world. Yeah, that's a nice childhood house. It's not like he grew up poor. I could show you my childhood home. You know what? Let's do that. Let's compare. David Wilcock is a spoiled rich kid. Look at that childhood home. I'm going to just show you the one that I remember. There was one before this, but I was a baby then. I don't remember that one. Let's take a look. All right. So this is David Wilcock's childhood home. But me, I grew up on the mean streets of Philadelphia, like literally. So here's my childhood home. It's the one with the white door right here where the Jeep is in front of. And that is Livingston Street in Philadelphia. And this was a 2-bedroom, I can't remember, but I think it's a 700 square foot house. The whole house is 700 square feet, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. And I think that 700 square feet includes the basement, but it wasn't really a basement. And it's the one with the white door all the way on the right side of the screen here. Yeah, so a little different. I grew up a little different. But by the way, I never wanted for anything. So I joke that I grew up poor. Isn't it funny when you grew up poor, but you didn't know you were poor until a certain point in your life when you suddenly realized, oh, my God, we're poor, right? Let's go back to David Wilcock's house. I'm going to get depressed, right? And by the way, I lived in several homes that were that small when I was an adult as well. That's just how people live in Philly. It's a lot different than this suburbia, you know, I don't know. Looks like a pretty nice house. So it's funny. Yeah, he talks crap about his dad, and look what a great provider his dad was, Satya N. Oh, by the way, great new user profile pic there. Hubba, hubba, honey. Look at that. Holy geez, Satya N. Sam Corbin says, my childhood house was an old farmhouse in northwestern Iowa. My dad was too cheap to turn the heat above 62. Yeah, my dad was a thermostat Nazi too. Isn't that funny? I was never allowed to touch it. Caleb says, I grew up dirt poor. I lived in a bus and my parents had to get food from a food bank. Well, see? There you go. But David Wilcock had such a tough life living in this house. But anyway, there's some clue as to why David Wilcock hasn't streamed, because he's a lazy slob. David Wilcock is lazy. All grifters are lazy. If they weren't lazy, they'd work every day, right? Like, just imagine for a moment if you could do a live stream every day and make between $2,000 and $10,000. I don't know about you, but I'd be streaming 7 days a week for that cash, right? Not Wilcock, once a week. And now he hasn't streamed for 4 weeks in a row, losing a possible $40,000 in income for himself. That's how lazy he is. All he has to do is keep recycling the same bullshit. He's been recycling the same bullshit for ages, right? My goodness, right? And let me see. I have another thing from Macario that I wanted to share. That might be enough to give everybody nightmares. So we found this is totally a real video too. I just want to say that. This is totally a real video. It's not fake at all. Some people said it's AI. I don't believe it. I think this is totally a real video. And this is from Macario.
I'm going to ask you to do something that may be a little bit uncomfortable.
Oh, gross. Gross. Oh, do you think they're finally coming out of the closet? These two.
I'm going to ask you to do something.
I almost did something that I shouldn't have.
Something that may be a little bit uncomfortable.
These two homosexuals are finally coming out of the closet. Look at that. We're all happy for them, right? And that, of course, is Christopher Beskar, the guy running the scammy aerospace company that's never made an airplane in 30 years, but keeps collecting investor money because they're going to make billions someday. Sure. Arlene, our chat room moderator, says, I grew up in Appalachian Mountains in southeastern Tennessee. We were poor, but we knew it. We didn't care. Yeah, Appalachia, that's some poor. I did the whole Appalachian Trail. That's some poor areas, right? But good salt of the earth, working class people. Sam Corbin just threw up in his mouth. Who's the power bottom? That's David. That's definitely David Wilcock, right? Is that Colonel Sanders' grandson? Yeah, absolutely. That's who it is. Yeah. Yeah. That's the colonel that David Wilcock claims is his government insider. It's Colonel Sanders, right? Wow. So we're going to get back to the video. For those unaware, we found this 2016 video where David Wilcock is predicting all the same stuff in 2016 that he predicted years later for 2025, proving that what he does is a scam, proving that what he does is a performance. If he was really getting psychic prophecies, wouldn't the psychic prophecies for leading up to the year 2016 be different than the psychic prophecies for leading up to the year 2025? Well, Waj6 says they're never going to forgive me for that. When is the dildo reveal? I keep saying this. It's on January 1st, 2025. That's another, or 2026. I keep, for those unaware, I buried a big box of dildos somewhere in the world, and I challenged David Wilcock to find it with his angel friends and alien friends and, you know, all of his government insiders, right? Yeah, so let's, friends, get back into the video. We've got 45 minutes more of nonsense to get through. And let's get some support. I will check in with the Kick. I will check in with the Kick support. For those unaware, if you send support on Kick, I always read it. So, and I thank you for that. And yes, we've got the Lucky Gremlin. The Lucky Gremlin became a subscriber on Kick. Adding to the support Kick from Kick, thank you, the Lucky Gremlin. I'm the lucky guy because the Lucky Gremlin has become a subscriber on Kick, and thank you for the support. Big support from the Lucky Gremlin on Kick. Let's get some more Kick subs. Let's get some gifted subs on Kick. Let's get some super chats and super stickers. Let's hit this goal tonight. Let's go.
I am the reincarnation of Ra, and I command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash or suffer my wrath.
All right. We're about to begin the video. Oh, wait a minute. Choli Chol chiming in with one for the goal says this is to delete that video clip. Are you kidding me? I'm going to use that video clip every show. I'm just that kind of an asshole. But thank you, Choli Chol, for your kindness, generosity, and support. And here's some more nightmare fuel for all of you.
Mommy needs more medicine to get through David's live stream, so praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Wow. That's some rack on David. Whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy. Right? All right. Let me, yeah. And people in the live chat, somebody was asking me in the live chat earlier, Wings of Redemption was on Darkside Phil's show, and am I going to cover it? Yes, but it was boring as shit. So who cares, really? But I'll cover it because people want to, I guess, watch it with me. I don't know.
To enslave us. Now think about that.
Oh, yes.
Well, I didn't give them permission. Why, for example, was there a document on display in the British Museum Library of London in the late 1800s that comprehensively lays out a plan for 3 world wars, during which time they will consolidate a Luciferian New World Order? And those 3 world wars are precise descriptions of World War I, World War II, and a third war in which they believed that most of the major countries have been eliminated and consolidated, and the only group left is going to be rogue mercenaries, which we would now call terrorists. They didn't use that word.
So the war on terror. He's trying to get a hit here when he doesn't have a hit.
But it totally describes Gulf War I, Gulf War II, the war on terrorism. That's World War III.
No, he thinks World War III, by most people's account, is going to be a nuclear war, and the very last war. It's going to reduce, I think, was it Albert Einstein or Oppenheimer? It was one of those two who said the next world war will be fought with atomic or nuclear weapons. The next war after that will be fought with sticks and rocks, because a nuclear war is going to reduce the earth to rubble and be quite devastating. And Humboldt Honey with one for the goal. Let's go. One for the goal. Says stop terrorizing the chat. No. If we hit our goal, I'll stop playing these praise the cash bumpers. How about that? How about that, Humboldt Honey?
Praise the cash to see more sexy pictures of me. Praise the cash.
There you go. Yeah, maybe I should not play. Like, if you send a super chat, I won't play the thank you, Humboldt Honey, for your kindness, generosity, and support. And thank you also for being a member. You notice something? The big supporters are also members. Imagine that. Like Starlight Warrior. And thank you, Humboldt Honey, for your continued support. Happy the healthy girls are back. Just need to smash faces. Hope all is well, bro. That's what you call a butterface right there. And you put a bag over its head and you take one for the team. But praise the cash, hallelujah, my friends. Let's go. This one's one of my favorites, Starlight Warrior. I saved it just for you.
Support the kid Steven and praise the cash. This kid is the only attention I get, so keep supporting his show. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. I had a dazzling dream about you praising the cash.
Ha ha! Thank you, Starlight Warrior, and thank you also for being a YouTube channel member. And we've got Dave7244 with £2 saying, I think World War III is going to be info cyber war. Well, that's probably another possibility. You are correct, Dave.
The kid Steven promised to praise the cash on me long and hard, so praise the cash.
Thank you for also being a YouTube channel member. We're going at a pretty good clip. The support is good. 6 of 20 for the goal. We just started the show. Looks like we might get a new goal streak going, and I'm here for it. I will routinely check back in with the Kick Live chat and read out any support we have there, including kicks if you send 100 kicks or more. I'm not calling out pennies, okay? I'm not calling out the pennies, guys. Come on. At least send 100. That's $1 US, right? SEF Network says, I just poked my eyes out. And thank you, Dave, for being a member as well. Let's continue. So he's babbling that he knows all about World War III.
Because the rules state that they have to tell us what they're doing. Therefore...
Yeah, he said this bullshit line before. They have to tell us what they're doing, and we have to consent to it. Yeah, those are the rules. As if a global government would somehow go by any goals, right? Or would go by any rules. If they're trying to, like, population decrease us and destroy our whole civilization, do we really think they're going to tell us what they're going to do first? It's ridiculous, childish, and stupid. Monster 220 Real sounds about right. Big ups to the Strict Rock people. Okay. Let's see. Let's continue.
We allow it to happen. We have consented to tyranny. We have consented to
These are his talking points. He uses this
if you
stuff
get
all
into
the
the secret history of the Cabal, this was rediscovered by Queen Elizabeth, the original Elizabeth that we've heard about from the 1500s. Queen Elizabeth's royal astrologer, a man named John Dee, who is the prototype of the wizard with the long beard, the hat, and
he could do AI and
what
nobody
he
will know
did
the difference. Yes.
was to rediscover through these ancient documents that were in the Vatican.
That's true, yeah.
The technology of how to access what they considered to be spiritual beings that were useful to them, but what we would consider to be demonic or evil beings. These beings
David's secret
need to
pistory.
be accessed through a very complex
it's the
set
secret
of rituals
pistory
and ceremonies. You cannot just ask for them to show up. You have to follow very elaborate and specific protocols. If you follow those protocols, it's like having an IP address, which is what we use to go online in order to notate a website. Every website has its own IP address. These spiritual beings, such as Baal and Moloch, which they still do ceremonies for today, such as in Bohemian Grove. There is a giant effigy, stone effigy of an owl. That's the god Moloch. The god Moloch goes all the way back to Rome and Carthage, in which they were offering child sacrifices to this god in exchange for power. So John Dee rediscovered the technology of how to draw the magic circles, how to say the right incantations, how to actually do black magic on a governmental level. This is what people...
Okay, so the big secret he's revealing is the government's doing black magic.
People are going to have so much trouble with once disclosure happens is that these people actually practice black magic, and they are very, very good at it.
Sounds good to me, Sam Corbin. Email me
could be
Google Drive that shit.
down into
what you see
happening with voodoo.
It's a great way to support the
When
show.
you
Give me
see
some
a
content
voodoo
to
attack
use.
against someone, what do? They make
Black
a little
Magic
doll,
Government.
and the doll is an
Sick
effigy
band
of you.
name.
It's supposed to
Yes.
look like you. And then they have a pin through the heart, or they do something to mangle the doll to make it look like it's been injured. They put that doll.
If I had, maybe I ought to get a David Wilcock voodoo doll and just keep jamming pins in his ass. But he would probably like enjoy that, so that wouldn't be good.
Doll in a place that you're going to be going through every day. You see the doll, and
Yeah,
if you believe that
Potbelly
evil
demons
has
running
power,
around coming
if
after
you
us,
become
that's true.
terrified and you believe that this is actually something that's going to
Weather
happen
weapons.
to you,
Yeah,
then
this
you
is Alex
attract
Jones stuff. That's right.
a disaster. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
So what really is going on here is that we have massive, massive creative power. Our thoughts
Yeah, IP
actually
stands
do
for Internet
manifest
Protocol,
reality.
series of tubes
So the rules
invented
are
by Al Gore.
that they use two components, imagination and will. They seed our imagination with a particularly desired thought form, and then they create events that fire our will into that thought form to actualize it. Now, let me give you an example, because this might not make any sense.
You think it might not make it? Definitely
Okay.
doesn't make any sense.
They seed the imagination, let's say, with the idea that guns kill people, guns are bad. Therefore, we take away all the guns, and nobody's ever going to die
He
again.
never shows any
Everything's going to be great.
Never humbled, honey. Never does he show.
Then, in order to actualize our will, they've seeded that thought form: gun control, gun control, gun control. But they are not going to lose their guns. And how do we know that we can trust them, especially after the Snowden disclosures, where we have the open admission
Wilcock
that
verbal
there is an
diarrhea.
international
That's
cabal that is
basically what
actually
this is, Arlene.
spying on
Verbal
all of our
diarrhea.
electronic communications? We can't trust them to be able to use that
intellectual
responsibly.
property.
They're not getting a warrant. They're not getting a court order. They are doing bulk collection, which means they grab everybody's data, everything that we put out there
Every
electronically.
single one
They
in
have
this
all
ad
of
is
it.
wiser than
If
David.
at any point in the future you are suspected of a probable
he
crime,
says he has a 180
they can
IQ,
go back through
SCFN
extrajudicially
network.
and access everything you've ever said and done. And even if you just so happen to accidentally click on a link on a web page that I've done it. Sometimes your finger hits the button, you didn't intend it. You loaded that web page, and it's this. Let's say it's a hate site of some kind.
It does get lots.
Now
of
they can
yeah.
say, well, look, David Wilcock went and
You just
accessed this
missed
hate
David
site. Clearly,
Wilcock,
we can now establish that
verbal
he was into
diarrhea.
this stuff.
That's all you missed.
So let's go back to the example of gun control now. The first stage with imagination is that they tell you guns kill people, therefore take away the guns. Then they create a fake event, a mass shooting, which is staged. They already have the emergency crews on hand.
Oh, man,
They
this
already
is
have
David.
the whole
This
thing
is
lined up. The
Alex
cover-up
Jones.
is already in place. They manage the event. They control the media. They black out people's cell phones. People don't understand why they're not getting a signal. It's an EMP block. This is the kind of stuff they actually do. So nobody can be taking pictures and filming it while it's happening. Then the event happens and everybody's traumatized, and then they release the coded phrase. They say, guns are the problem, guns are the reason why
Yeah,
these
he had a
people died,
virus, so he
therefore
had
we
his
need to
pants
take away the
down.
guns.
Of course, yeah.
And then everybody says, oh yes, thank God. Take away all the guns, this will never happen again.
Yeah.
Every single fascist overthrow.
He's just afraid that the government's going to see that he's been on extreme gay porn sites. Absolutely. 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 Which reminds me, I don't think it's real. I think it was a goof, but somebody sent me an internet browsing history and claimed that they hacked David Wilcock's computer, and it was all like bukkake porn and cuckold porn and gay porn and midget porn and like the most disgusting. I don't know. I think Germans make some pretty gross porn, like shit porn, where people are like eating shit out of people's assholes and like, oh my God. And so somebody once sent me a history page and said it was Wilcock's. I had to dig that out and find it just for fun. I don't know that it's real. Monster 220 real. Just shoehorning in some random DSP shit with a series of tubes. Al Gore invented the internet meme. No worries. Oh, there you go. There's a crossover there. Thank you for
A
that.
country in history started with some form of confiscation of the tools that the people had to protect themselves, whether it was guns
Yes,
or
he is
other
afraid
forms
of
of
killer
weaponry. They
cabal
make it
trees.
illegal
Yes.
to have defensive tools. And that is why the founding fathers of the United States of America, written right into the Constitution, the Second Amendment, is that you have the right to bear arms, because they knew about the cabal in its British form in the 1700s. So let's get back to the Queen Elizabeth astrologer John Dee again for a second. John Dee discovered the technology. It's an ancient technology. It's in the form of ritual magic of how to access these spiritual entities that will do work for them. So one of the things that insiders have told me was that 2 different times, massive, massive armadas of Spanish war galleons were sailing through the seas towards Great Britain, and they had guys on high pedestals who could see this through their little telescopes.
Listen to the details he's giving.
John Dee was in direct contact with these entities.
Story.
And Elizabeth says, what do we do? Should we deploy the army? Should we go fight them? Twice in a row, John Dee says, don't send out the armies, don't do anything, it's all going to be fine.
It'll be fine.
So they just sit there. And this is a real faith test for whether John Dee is accurate or not. Spanish galleons are sailing in. This massive storm shows
I love
up.
how he takes stuff from
and
history.
The storm is so vicious, the lightning and the thunder and the roiling, boiling sea, that the entire Spanish Armada was completely wiped out. And this happened not once, but twice. So what is that? That appears to be extraterrestrials who have weather modification technology, who can be accessed if you know the IP address, if you know the code, if you know the right ceremonies.
Well, that's
and then they will do your bidding, but you end up paying a terrible price.
I want to get into more local AIs.
You end up losing your soul. And in fact, the groups that work with these entities
what? You're going to lose your soul to the demons.
Invariably end up being destroyed, and that is written right into their symbolism. The symbol of the eagle. The original American bird was not the eagle.
Means demons.
Benjamin Franklin wanted to be the phoenix.
Oh, the phoenix.
Phoenix is the symbol of the cabal. Why? Because the cabal must be burned to ashes, seems to be completely destroyed, but it keeps arising and reincarnating from the ashes. It comes back. So part of their religious belief is that in order to get their new world order, they must be publicly exposed, they must die for their beliefs, they will appear to be wiped out, and they actually believe that these extraterrestrial gods that they've been contracting with all these centuries are going to return, and they will be glorified. They will return in light bodies, and they will actually now be the rulers of the earth. So this is part of their religious belief. Now, why am I saying all this? Because if you are watching this video right now, you are part of the resistance. You are part of the movement that is awakening. My job is much like Morpheus in the movie The Matrix. The word Messiah, okay, is a plural. This is something a lot of people do not know. It was never intended to be one figure. The Messiah is you. If you are awakening, if you have the courage to spread knowledge, to spread the truth, to educate and inform people about what is really going on. The game is designed on purpose, that it requires a messianic team. It requires a vast initiative of people working together in order to make this happen. There needs to be, as you say, a collective evolution. We have to do this as a team. It cannot be one person. It was never designed that way. It is an organized effort of sharing the truth, and here is one of the most important principles that I heard from a guy in the cabal directly, who was a whistleblower.
Oh, another whistleblower.
There is a cosmic law
like Corey Good
that is absolutely irrefutable, that says that the cabal is not allowed to shoot the Red Cross workers.
Oh, they're not allowed.
What does that mean?
Okay.
The planet itself is sick because of folks like the cabal. Ultimately, the universe is intelligent, alive, and conscious, and it is benevolent. It is a benevolent consciousness. That consciousness does not allow the negative to succeed unless it is invited. So the cabal has made a science, a very elaborate science, out of studying these arcane, occult, magical principles that allow them to get away with what they do. So they have to put out everything that tells you who they are in music videos, in these Super Bowl halftime shows, the Grammy Awards ceremonies.
Oh, God.
They're out there showing you the truth. When you look at the latest Olympics opening ceremonies, you have James Bond 007, Daniel Craig, who is with Queen Elizabeth in her little royal Buckingham Palace. And then Queen Elizabeth ends up going with James Bond into a helicopter. The helicopter, there's a scene that they show everybody in the ceremony where the helicopter flies over Britain. And then in the actual auditorium,
what is he
the
saying?
helicopter flies overhead.
I'm sorry,
and
I lost the plot. What is he talking about?
And dressed up in the same outfit that Queen Elizabeth is wearing when she sits down, this pink dress and a white wig with the curls, he parachutes out of the helicopter. Now, what the heck was that? 007
newer video cards
is actually a Cabal symbol. It represents the penis and the two testicles.
Oh, the
okay?
penis and the
00 is the testicles. The
I
7
knew
is
he
the
was
penis.
going to get into penises.
And there's another name for
soon
this,
enough.
another secret name called two-ball cane.
No, he's just.
And what that means is literally two balls and a cane, which is the phallic symbol. 007.
Buckington Palace.
John Dee was the original 007.
Oh, and 007
this was his
means
code that he
balls.
used in all secret communications with Queen
Balls.
Elizabeth. So that whole sequence represents John Dee, the original wizard, the original astrologer, the man who discovered how to do black magic, to
JL's
teach the
happy
Cabal
for the ad break.
how to access these beings so that they could secure
break up the
control.
madness.
And then what happens? She is the fallen angel. She parachutes out of the helicopter, a spaceship, and she parachutes down into the auditorium. So again, people don't realize how elaborate this belief system is. They don't see that in the Olympic ceremonies that they built this pyramid, that they had all these symbols, including people that were like partly reptilian, that was in there, all kinds of interesting stuff.
Reptiles.
So
all right,
I want to point out that this
that reminds me of something. Hold on, I have to find it. You know, a lot of people remember that David Wilcock said that he got butt banged by reptilian aliens. Remember that? And then some people said they didn't believe that he got butt banged by reptilian aliens, but there's actually proof of it. If I could find it, I will play it for you. There's proof of, oh, here we go. Yes. There's proof of David Wilcock being butt banged by reptilian aliens now. And look, he looks sad, right? Because he's about to get butt banged by reptilian alien. Look at this. Oh, shit. You're about to get butt banged, dude. You're about to get butt strangled. Oh, man. You're about to get it right up the bum, dude. He's about to get a butt banging right there. That's right. Let's get back to the video.
cosmic law that they cannot shoot the Red Cross workers is why I am alive. People have said to me, David, you're so brave, you're so courageous.
Because the Cabal's
I would agree with that. It's taken me a lot of courage to come out here in the face of multiple death threats over many years and to speak this. I'm not using a pseudonym. I haven't changed my name. I don't use a voice decoder or anything like that. It's me. I'm here. You can look me up. I'm a real person. So why am I still alive?
So brave, going on the
I
internet.
actually believe the stuff that I'm telling you.
So brave,
I would not be doing this if I didn't believe that this really works. I have had spiritual contact in the form of dreams, visions, and synchronicities my whole life. And I have been documenting my dreams every morning since 1992.
Yeah, and your
I have
dreams
learned the
mean
language of
nothing
dreams.
since
I have learned
1992.
how those dreams convey to me information that I need to know about my soul, the soul's evolution. I have had so many cases of dreams giving me accurate information, guiding me through every obstacle that comes my way, predicting the future in advance.
Well, why does he never predict the future in advance? Why is he always telling us that he predicted the future after things happened? Come on, David Wilcock. You are a complete and total compulsive liar. You are pathological in your lying. And isn't it funny? He's like, a lot of people have told me how brave I am. What people? You're brave for telling fake stories and fake conspiracy theory bullshit on the internet? Why does that make you brave? And he claims that he's had multiple death threats. But remember, this guy embellishes and exaggerates everything. He turned a animal control officer knocking on his door into a swatting event, right? So somebody sends him a mean tweet and he classifies that as a death threat. That's what he does. Exaggerates and embellishes everything. Nobody's threatening your life for telling fake stories. People are calling you a scumbag and a scam artist and a bullshit artist clown, but nobody's threatening your life, you liar.
Advance with.
And by the way, I checked with the local jurisdiction that David Wilcock lives in, which is Boulder, Colorado. There's never been any police reports of any death threats or any threats made against David Wilcock. So he just makes this shit up. If somebody was really threatening your life, wouldn't you fill out a police report at least? So essentially, David admits he's been mentally ill since 1992. Yeah. He's brave because he pooped in public for the first time. Yes. Porky is, Folky, I don't know what that is not a death threat, says Pig Monster 220 Real. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Stunning clarity. And I have been told for many years,
checking with the goal. We're still at 6
I
of
maintain
20. Can
my
we hit
integrity,
it?
if I stand behind my mission,
If
I
he
stand behind my
maintains
message, and I do
integrity-
not waver. In other words, I don't have a secret personal life.
Yeah, he's not banging a bunch of broads or anything. Like, this is so stupid. Here he's going to talk about integrity as he's taking money for an interview telling people completely fake evidence-free stories. But he's going to sit here and talk about integrity.
That is different from what I'm representing. That means I'm not out there ripping people off. I'm not out there womanizing.
I'm not out there womanizing. I'm not out there. Wait a minute. I got to take a clip of this. We're going to take the not out. He says, I'm not out there ripping people off. I'm not out there womanizing. That's at 1 hour.
For many years, that if I maintain my integrity, if I stand behind my mission, if I stand behind my message and I do not waver, in other words, I don't have a secret personal life that is different from what I'm representing. That means I'm not out there ripping people off. I'm not out there womanizing. If I tell you that I do not do alcohol and drugs, that is true. I have been chemical-free since 1992.
Chemical-free.
If I were to start violating these principles and go around getting myself high, womanizing, stealing...
He's admitted lately to being on the Mary Jane, so I guess that's out the window now. And Echo Bats, thank you, has been a member for 4 months. Echo Bats says, Luciferian Hollywood elite. He is Hollywood elite. Malibu movies, 100+ episodes of Ancient Aliens. So is David himself a California Luciferian? Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. Yeah, he isn't out there womanizing because he is allergic to the vajayjay. He is chasing men. That's true. He's out there butt banging dudes and getting butt banged. Actually, I don't think he pitches, so he's just getting butt banged by dudes. That's what he likes. He's like a bottom bitch. He likes getting rammed in the tush by a dude with a penis, right? Yeah. Oh. And thank you for being a member, Echo Bats. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Much appreciated, and praise the cash.
Since that kid Stephen Guess read for my latest live stream, you must praise the cash now. Praise the cash. Since that kid Stephen Guess read for my latest...
Got it. We get it. I've checked in with the goal. We're still at 6 of 20, 14 to make it to tonight's goal. Will we hit it? Or are we going into Slumpsville? David can see the future with his Akashic records. He didn't see the lizard people coming. Yeah, if you could really see the future, wouldn't he have seen the future where he gets butt banged by reptilians and butt banged by gray aliens and just like, I don't know, lock his asshole up for a while, right? And Tales of the Sonic Voyage is here and has been a member for 12 months and says, Suffer, Wilcock. That is correct. Thank you for being a member for so long and for helping us to praise the cash.
Kid Stephen promised to praise the cash on me long and hard, so praise the cash.
Thank you, Tales of the Sonic Voyage, big show supporter. But we need some new supporters to stand up, be counted, and help us hit the goal tonight. Let's go. Let's get some more super chats. Hit that goal and just enjoy the rest of the show. See, I'm learning something from DSP's begging.
People's money, lying to them, these kinds of things would then authorize the cabal to take me down. And they would love it if they could, but there are positive extraterrestrials who are essentially what we could call angelic beings.
There's angels protecting David from being
organize
murdered.
and maintain this so-called illusion, which we believe to be very compelling and real. life that we have on earth.
I'm going to have to get that
It
beggar
is an
stamp
illusion,
for-
and it is
right,
intended
yeah,
for our
have
spiritual
to get
evolution.
there.
One of the great laws is the law of balance. The spiritual beings that manage our illusion cannot allow the negative to ever be more predominant than the positive.
Oh, yes, we must have balance. And you know what's funny? H-Bomb is here, and I was showing him my office and my streaming setup, and I got all these masks around here. It looks like an Ed Gein horror house in here. There's just like fake heads and fake masks and all kinds of weird shit. And I was like, maybe I should have put some of this shit away before he came over here, right? Thank you, H-Bomb. I will think of H-Bomb every time I'm warm, which should be every day now. So that's a positive. Let's go. Let's get some more super chats. 14 to the goal. Let's hit it. Will we hit it? God bless the goal, and God bless all of you kind and generous supporters. We need 14 more people to stand up and be counted.
They balance the illusion quite specifically so that at any point, any person has equal opportunity to seek the positive
right.
or the negative.
So
what I would say is, in your left hand is death, and in your right hand is life. If you choose to see death,
he probably does think
you can go around,
Michael speaking
you can look at the people and the situations on Earth, and everywhere you look, you can find examples of decay, of collapse.
This one's great. There are angels that are protecting David from being murdered because he's such a great immoral person. It just doesn't even make any sense. Would angels protect a guy whose whole life is scamming retarded morons on the internet? You know, it's just one of those things. It's so stupid. And hearing the call of the goal is Indigo Horizon. I'm struggling in a class, and listening to this loser makes me feel like a genius. Definitely needed this confidence booster today. Thanks, Stephen. Well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. And here's some more nightmare fuel for you, Indigo Horizon. And thanks for being a member. Big support from Indigo Horizon. Let's go. Let's get to this goal. We have 13 left to hit. 13 more needed. But thank you, Indigo Horizon, who clocks in at number 7 of 20. Let's get this goal. And praise the cash. Praise the cash. Hallelujah. Let's go.
Edgar Casey predicted you would be praising the cash, and since I am the reincarnation of Casey, I am telling you to praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Yes, thank you, Indigo Horizon. Maybe it's the bumpers that people are like, I don't want to see this David Wilcock with big tits. And no, I don't want to see that. I'm not going to trigger that by sending it. We'll use the classic praise the cash Wilcock bumpers from here on out. Let's get some more support and get to the goal.
Of pain, of selfishness, of fear.
You know what's funny is I just realized that tonight I shouldn't complain because I have made more on YouTube tonight than David Wilcock has in the last 4 weeks. Ha ha! His views are suffering, man. Go look at his Social Blade. Holy, his numbers are in the shitter. He's not making any ad revenue. Like none, I don't think, right? Ha ha! Suffer, David Wilcock's YouTube ad rev. Suffer. Ha ha! Anthony Peterson is here with $2. He will bring balance to the force. I don't think so. I really don't think so. But one can hope, right?
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Ha ha! Thank you, Anthony Peterson. Let's go. Let's get some more for the goal.
And that can become something that you write into your mental monologue to such an extent that all the time you are obsessing on these details. You keep invoking the details. In your other hand is life.
Only Wilcock is obsessing.
You can just as easily, and this is designed on purpose,
scams.
You can just as easily look for positive things in the world. You can find those things, and you can choose to conclude that you live in a positive reality. So the law of balance means that either choice is available to you, and we are here to make the choice with equal opportunity in either
IRS
direction.
is likely riding up Wilcock.
As we get towards this great exposure
Yeah.
of the cabal and what they have done.
And by the way, that's something that we haven't really talked about. David Wilcock believes that, oh, wait a second there. David Wilcock believes that he's just going to be able to keep that $200,000 that he just made from selling his home. When he owes the IRS $1.5 million. For those unaware, he shadily transferred the titles and deeds of the titles of both homes that he owns, both real estate holdings, the one in New York and the one in Colorado, to holding companies. And he thinks just hiding the money from the IRS will be sufficient for him to be able to just keep all that money. And even though by his own admission, he owes IRS something like $1.5 million, or I think the latest is he said 1.2 million. Maybe he paid some of it down. They're not just going to let him keep $200,000 because he did some, shady paperwork to hide the asset from his name and the IRS, right? I just want to put that on the record. And Sheila Radler has gifted one True Seekers membership. Let's go. That means 6 people tonight. 6 people tonight so far, my friends, have won a free Truth Seekers membership thanks to the kindness, generosity, and support of people like Charles McDonald. And now Sheila Radler has stepped up and gifted 1 Truth Seekers membership. And you can win a free membership, but you must be a subscriber. So smash that subscribe button, and you too could win one tonight. Thank you, Sheila Radler, for your kindness, generosity, and support.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash.
Ha ha! Thank you, Sheila Radler, and praise the cash. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for gifting a membership and your continued support of the show. Much, much appreciated. And Stormcrow is here and says, I think they call that fraud. Yeah, you can't hide $200,000 in money from the IRS when you owe them that much money. And I said on Twitter, and I mean it, I'm not going to call them, but it'd be a shame if somebody let the IRS know that he's trying to hide $200,000 from them. Does he think, like, with all the people he's pissed off on the internet, that nobody is going to call? It's not just me that he called a child predator. He called Macario a child predator. He called John Christian Spadavacci a child predator. I mean, somebody that he's called a PDF file is going to call the IRS. They're going to find out about that money, David. So you better not spend it. You better hold on to that for the IRS, right? The IRS can find the $5 a church gave a single mom for gas. They can find Wilcock's hidden money. I agree, right? He can't just keep that money. He can't just keep that money. The IRS will garnish the bank transfer from his checking account. They can do that to get the money that he owes them. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to just keep the money, friends. I really severely doubt he's going to be able to keep it.
The choice becomes far more poignant because there's much more information available now about this so-called cabal, about this so-called Illuminati than there ever was before. There are people who want to learn about this, and they end up going down the internet rabbit hole, which can very quickly lead to...
He wasn't interested in the vajayjay. He was interested in the cash that she could help him. She used to help him with the live streams and his scams and grifts, remember? She was like the prover maneuver. Beth, tell them that I'm talking to UFO whistleblowers. And she'd be like, oh, yeah, he's been talking to government insiders. Yeah.
Paranoia, anxiety, insomnia, morbid depression,
prison.
because you feel also that once you are awakening to the truth that they are listening now, that NSA surveillance is directed at you. You are at risk. You are under threat. Your phone calls are being monitored. Who's that guy in the car over there? When am I going to get the knock on the door? Is my car going to drive over the cliff one day? Look, here's the bottom line.
What is the average
So many people are making these videos now. So many people are coming out with the truth, with their real identity. The cabal cannot begin to try to harm these people or take them out. In fact, they definitely do not do that because they don't want a Jim Morrison or a Jimi Hendrix. They don't want another John Lennon.
Yeah,
they don't want somebody who comes out into the open and gives us a positive message who is then taken away because they know that person then becomes a hero. So instead what they do is they play a confidence game. They con you into thinking that Big Brother is real and that they are threatening and that they can do something to take you down, when in fact, most of these people who are worried about the government spying on them when they're looking at these videos, there is absolutely nothing to worry about. And I want to give you a point that expresses this. I used to live in Virginia.
You mean he's finally going to get to some kind of point?
Virginia Beach, and I was driving up the I-95 to upstate New York where my parents were, and along the way I got a flat tire. I happened to get a flat tire in an area called Delmarva. Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. This is right next to Langley, CIA headquarters, okay?
Oh God, he got a
So
flat
it turns
tire right
out that
next to the
people work at the
CIA.
CIA, they lose their job and they need to get a job. And they have to get sometimes a mundane job. So I go to this tire place, and the guy who is working behind the desk is ex-CIA.
Oh, come on. Bullshit.
Now, I smile at the guy and start talking to him and pretty quickly discover
This is a
that he
fake
knows
story.
some black ops stuff, because I mentioned a few things and he said stuff that he shouldn't have known. And so I said, have you ever
Only
heard
David
of
Wilcock
Project
could read
Moondust
CIA
and Project
people.
Bluefly? And this is stuff that I'd heard from
That
Sergeant
was
Clifford
probably
Stone, a
just a tire
whistleblower,
guy, and he was
who's
like, "This
describing
guy's a fucking lunatic."
code names of alien crash retrieval programs where UFOs crash and they remove the bodies and the occupants. Okay.
Sure they do.
He says, how the heck do you know that? I said, well, I have high friends in low places.
And by the way, no, Project Moondust was about recovery of Soviet space technology. It was not about recovery of alien technology. But that's what some of these grifters do. They take a real program and then they reassign what the actual meaning of it. Project Moondust was about recovering foreign technology, but earthly technology, like Russian satellites that came down or pieces of Russian spacecraft that, re-entered Earth's atmosphere. It had nothing to do with, ever had anything to do with aliens. But don't let things like facts and real history get in the way of a good bullshit story you could sell retarded morons on the internet. Anime Chris is here with one for the goal. Thank you, Anime Chris, who's a big show supporter. Big support from Anime Chris. Let's go. He says, I predict David returns in 2026 with visions from Thor and the Space Avengers. Yes, I think you're right. He's going to have to come back with something pretty creative there, Anime Chris, right?
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash, praise the cash.
And 8 of 20. We are at 8 of 20. Let's go, friends. Let's get there. And I appreciate all the kindness and generosity and support so far. 12 to go. Will we hit the goal? And we have, I will check in with the goal just to see. We have 43 minutes left on the timer. I think we can still do it. Start a new goal streak. Let's go, friends. Let's get there. Thank you for your kindness. James, Ontuoff. I hope I'm saying that right. James Ontuoff with £2. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show.
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
43 minutes on the timer, 12 to go. Will we hit it? God bless the goal, and God bless all you kind and generous benefactors.
So then I say, look, man.
So he's getting his tire.
You guys are the
problem.
problem.
Guy, right?
I'm out there trying to do this work. I called the FBI in 1998 because I had a series of prophecies showing me that there was going to be a terrorist attack on New York with a mini nuke.
Oh, come on.
It was going to be sailed into the harbor with a boat. It was going to be detonated, and it was going to basically radiate all of New York City and destroy it.
Well, that didn't happen.
I had very, very specific and elaborate dreams about this, and I discovered from insiders later on that I had the nature of the event and I had the date. And our government already was well aware of this terrorist threat. So who the hell is David?
Now he's trying to say that he predicted 9/11, but he got the method of the terror attack wrong. But he got the date right and the location right. Come on. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. If he actually predicted 9/11, there'd be some proof of it. There isn't. This is just his word. Oh, I really predicted 9/11, guys. I did. Prove it, you asshole.
Wilcock, how the hell does he know about this? So then the FBI authorized a wiretap on my phone. Now, this is not the typical NSA kind. This is a kind where...
That's bullshit, because we could FOIA if the FBI has any records on David Wilcock, and we could prove they never wiretapped his phone. He's an amateur at lying. Does he not know that FBI records are FOIA-able? And if they had tapped his phone, we could find some record of it through a Freedom of Information Act request? Come on, David Wilcock. You can't just lie to people. Like, oh, the FBI tapped my phone because I predicted 9/11. Bullshit. I call bullshit. I call your bluff, you lying scumbag grifter, asshole, degenerate scumbag who takes advantage of stupid people.
Certain words that I would say would cause an audible click on the phone where the illuminated buttons would actually go black and then light up again.
BS on everything this
and it would happen when I said certain words. And those words included things like extraterrestrial and visitor. And so I would test it without them knowing. I would say the keywords, the phone would click, the lights would blink, and now I know I'm being recorded. And he confirmed that that was happening to me. And I said, okay. So
yeah, some guy that's working
how many
at a tire
people
shop. Listen to
in
the
my area
of this. He meets some guy that's working at, where is he working? He meets a guy that's working at a tire shop that claims he's ex-CIA, who confirms for him that the FBI tapped David Wilcock's phone. And he just so happened to know all about this. Like, come on, David Wilcock. Come up with some better lies, you scumbag. Evernurse with one for the goal. Yes. Yabba dabba do. Dabba yabba dabba. That's a mouthful, but thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. It is much, much appreciated. Evernurse is a YouTube channel member, and you should become one too, because if you become a YouTube channel member during a live broadcast, right now is a good time to hit that join button. I'll give you a big shout out and thank you. And thank you, Evernurse, for your kindness, generosity, and support, continued support, big support from Evernurse. Let's go, friends.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
All right. Thank you, Evernurse. And we've got Trolly Troll is here with one for the goal. They changed her name again. He also has very vivid and elaborate dreams about guys' manhoods. YouTube won't let me say the other words. That's right. David Wilcock dreams about cocks and balls a lot. And he dreams about dudes showing him their cocks and balls. I've lost count of how many times David Wilcock has put a slide up, and he makes slides about it. Listen, if I suddenly start dreaming about cocks and balls, I wouldn't be making slides about it. That's gay. He's gay. He's bald, and he's broke. Thank you, Trolly Troll, for your kindness, generosity, and support.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Thank you, Trolly Troll, for your kindness. And Evernurse with another one for the goal. Hey, can you tell me what this fuck did? He's been scamming people for decades. You can go to our archive and go just search for David Wilcock scam and see all the scams we have busted at him. It is absolutely ridiculous, Evernurse. He has just scam after scam after scam, and he just keeps getting away with it. So part of me doesn't blame him for keep scamming. He's making millions scamming morons and retards on YouTube. And YouTube lets him scam the morons and the retards. I don't know why. I just don't understand myself, Evernurse. But his latest scam is, Ascension's coming in 2025, but it never came, just like his wife.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
There you go. And we thank you for your continued support and checking in with the goal. We're now at 11 of 20. That means we're more than halfway to the goal with 37 minutes to go. Will we get it? 9 more. We need 9 more kind and generous benefactors to stand up, be counted, and bless the goal, my friends. Thank you for your kindness, Evernurse, and all of you for your kindness, generosity, and support. 9 to go. Let's get that goal, my friends. Now let's continue with the bullshittery.
Are you guys spying on like this? He said, well, where do you live? I said, Virginia Beach.
He aggressively targets the most vulnerable
Virginia
people
Beach,
to get to the money.
The type of technology that you're describing, 30,000.
I don't remember enough of
30,000 just in one city? He said, yeah. Okay.
Lately,
how many intelligence agents are actually listening to these tapes? Probably none.
Yeah, they're just recording David Wilcock, but nobody's actually listening to it. This whole story makes no sense. I've been having a lot of what I would call frustration dreams. Do you ever have a dream like this? You park your car in a parking lot, you go into a store or supermarket or something in the dream, and then when you come out, you can't find your car. And you spend the whole rest of the dream trying to find your car or trying to find a way home without your car. I've been having dreams like that for like months on end, and I don't know what that's about. There's something in my subconscious, maybe, right? I don't know. Maybe we ought to have a woo session about it.
His answer. None. Yeah, probably none. So what are you saying? Are you guys just like recording this stuff on a hard drive and nobody's actually listening to it?
That's Gaia.
He said, David,
they only
we
hire
have so much
and liars.
information that the needle in the haystack paradox doesn't even begin to describe
we will
the
get there. I have faith
of what is going on.
Anime Chris says,
The
don't be a
only
brokey,
time
David.
that data would ever be accessed is if you caused so much trouble
Sexual
that
frustration.
assets were deployed to actually study what you were doing.
I
All
don't
they
know.
were
Me and
doing
my
was
wife
making a
were
record
fine,
of what
so
you
I
had
don't
to
think
say.
it's that.
Nobody's listening to it. And
Yeah,
what he
you know
also
all
said
about David
was,
Wilcock, except where he lived. Yeah, exactly.
the groups are so compartmentalized, even individual intelligence agents do not tell the
pick me up
person
and take
at the
me
next,
home. Help me
next
find my
door
car.
what they're doing because they need to keep secrets in order to stay alive.
They turn into
These agencies are
nightmares.
totally disorganized. They
And
have
I can
totally
help,
different
Winter
computer
Soldier.
systems. They have never been
we
able
gotta
to
check in
integrate
with
their
the
computer
Kit Kat.
systems.
See if we got any
That's why the
support
Bush
over there.
administration created Department of Homeland Security. Their original goal was to try to get all of
No
those
money,
different
no
intelligence
honey on
agencies
Kick tonight.
to actually
Get
have
one
data
sub.
in one
I'm gonna turn into
database.
Dark Side Film
But
and
look,
turn
some of
off
these
the
intelligence
screen.
agencies, I'm not
The
kidding,
brokies on
are
Kick.
still using DOS, old-fashioned PC operating systems. They don't have even Windows on there. And those
bullshit.
are archaic
CIA is
dinosaur
not using
computers that
DOS.
are not online. They don't have internet capability, and that's the database that stores all this information. So they don't have the ability to
I
just
hear you.
look
Arlene
for
says,
it.
I don't sleep enough to
The
actually have
rules
memorable
do not
dreams.
allow the Red Cross workers to be shot. So if you stay in your integrity, if you are a good person, if you are trying to do your best to be honorable, to be loving, to be positive, the cabal cannot get you. And this is something.
Well, the cabal should have murdered David Wilcock decades ago then, because he's not a moral or ethical person. He's been scamming people for decades. You're not a moral or ethical person. You've been caught scamming the UFO community how many times now? Right here, this is 2016. He's still scamming people for secret space fake stories while he's talking about what a moral and ethical person he is. Come on.
That really needs to be spread far and wide. They are, Big Brother is a con game. They cannot go after the people that are doing this. There's only a
You're
couple
right.
100,000
It's all
intelligence
public
staff
record, yeah.
altogether. Okay,
He's acting like
they
the
cannot
CIA
harass
can't
all the
find his
people that are
address.
doing this. They can't take you down, and therefore, these people know this. And what they've always worried about is the
I'll go
awakening
find a
of the
bumper
public.
report
They are
for
worried
you,
about
Jack
people
Regan.
stepping into their power,
Step up, be
and
counted.
understanding
I'll find
that
you
they
a
can be
buff
strong,
dude to
that they
play.
can go out there,
Yes.
take decisive action, and courageously
Honorable,
take
loving,
this
and
planet back
positive.
from the people that are stopping us
DSP
from getting
says those
disclosure,
same
from
words,
getting the
but we're dry
truth,
begging.
and from getting the knowledge that we need to enter into the golden age that so many ancient spiritual teachings have predicted. When this disclosure
Any of
comes
this was
about,
brewed
when
in a
these
dark dungeon
technologies are
somewhere. I
released,
agree, humble
the
honey.
net effect will be that we will enter into a Star Trek age, a golden era in which we now don't have to pay for energy. There is no need for money at all.
Oh, here's the Stephen Greer talking
And we
point.
have much greater lifespans,
free
much greater
energy,
harmony, and the ability to
utopian
travel the cosmos,
society.
to meet a whole bunch of different people who may have histories in their civilizations that go back hundreds of thousands of years, to meet people who are far more spiritually evolved than we are. We're just going through growing pains right now, an evolutionary awakening. It's like childhood. And as you become an adult, you have to go through an initiation. This is a global initiation.
And remember, this is all the same stuff that he predicted for 2025. And here he is in 2016 predicting exactly the same shit. Free energy, utopian society, open extraterrestrial contact, harmonious, brotherhood of men and all this. It's all bullshit. It's total bullshit.
That brings us out of childhood, that makes us aware of people who were profiting from our ignorance, who deliberately kept us disempowered and weak to maintain.
People who are profiting from our ignorance, says the guy who profits from morons and retarded people on the internet that believe that we're all getting superpowers in 2025. Come on, David Wilcock, you scammer. Do better, bro. face to the screen with one for the goal. That is right. We're heading there. We're more than halfway there. 12 of 20, 8 to go. 8 to go, my friends. And 8 to go with 31 minutes left on the clock. Face to the Screen is a Big Show supporter and also a YouTube channel member. Thank you for that. Says, my dreams are better. First time I shot webs like Spider-Man, he showed up and taught me. Then a giant Superman was pissed and we fought him and beat his ass. That sounds like a fun dream to me, right? What are you talking about, Face to the Screen? I don't know if two Spider-Men can beat one Superman, but I'd like to see that fight, Face to the Screen.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Praise the cash, my friends. We are rocketing towards the goal. 8 to go. We need 8 more kind and generous friends to stand up, be counted, and bless that goal. And bless me, and I will bless you back. And God bless all of you who are being great show supporters, right? He's been predicting mass arrests for the last 3 decades, says Mark Tarana. You are correct. You are correct, my friends. Yeah, that's one of those things. Just keep predicting the mass arrests till something happens,
control,
I guess.
maintain their power. And as we go through this transformation, you watching this
with the
will be
Wilcock.
someone who can help alert
correct.
others. Let me say that without. You watching this can help be someone who can alert others to what is really going on and help keep this whole thing stable so that we get a rapid transition.
He says that we all have to let everybody else know what's going on. So why would he be so upset with me? Because I'm telling people what's really going on. And that is that David Wilcock is scamming everyone with fake information that's worthless. It's worthless fake information. I don't understand why he's so upset with me, right? Okay. One moment here. Let's continue. Yes, we're late night with the cock. The Wilcock.
Old media cannot be used to demonize the alliance as if it were evil, because that's what they're going to try to do. How can we tell who's on our side or not?
Are you?
I would say
somebody shared
that
porn
the events that
in
will
our
take place,
Twitch chat or Kick chat,
where the truth is
great.
exposed, will show you who is the good guy. Because even though there are various groups within the cabal that war against each other and are fighting to control the planet, the one thing they all agree on is secrecy. Nobody wants any of these deeper secrets to be exposed. They want all of it to stay deeply under wraps because exposure is bad for everybody.
Pyrokinesis.
Exposure leads to criminal trials, arrests, prosecutions, and a collapsing of their power infrastructure. That is what they do not want.
Here he is in 2016 predicting mass arrests, which is the same thing he predicted for 2025, mass arrests. This is simply offering hope to the hopeless, right? Like, are you upset with the way things are going? Don't worry, everything's going to be great because the alliance is going to arrest all the evil people in the world and we'll finally get our revenge. Come on. It's just childish, stupid stories, you fucking moron. And he got most of this from Q-tard nonsense.
So this is the time where we're going to see hidden truths being exposed, and the people who are doing that for us
he's sending his alien army
for our
into
freedom
the
and
chat.
for a positive future.
And how do you know who those people are?
You will know by the events that are taking place. The people right now, to a large degree, are working without credit. For example, I have heard from insiders that 40% of the U.S. military is actually now computer hackers.
Hope for the
So
hopeless
kids get busted for hacking.
That's right.
And they're told you can either go to prison and have a cellmate named Bubba, or you can join the military and become a hacker, but doing it for positive purposes.
We need 8
And these
more.
guys get to work from home, but they are under surveillance by other staff. And they are going through countless thousands of hours of surveillance footage of people in the cabal, because there are little hidden cameras that the cabal doesn't know about inside all of their places where they meet, including the Oval Office and the White House, including the Bohemian Grove, all this kind of stuff.
Oh, there's little tiny cameras, and they're capturing exactly what the cabal are up to. Yeah, you got just as good a chance of seeing those videos as you do of seeing all the Epstein videos, right?
So we're seeing now a situation in which all the surveillance footage is being
what a
combed
grifter.
through.
That is correct.
And at some point, apparently, the Alliance is going to release this footage in which you will actually see notable world leaders talking about their Luciferian belief systems, planning out false flag terrorism. And whoever does that, you can be assured, is fighting for a positive future for us, because nobody who's in the cabal wants any of this stuff to come out, because they all suffer.
So Snowden would be one of those.
Snowden is definitely a positive example.
And do you think there's?
Oh, Snowden's a good guy. He's not a bad guy. Okay.
Absolutely, Snowden has far more information. I've heard this from multiple insiders.
Yeah, right.
Snowden's data
Insiders are
that
all
we've seen
fake.
so far in the
So-
public may be only 1.5% of what he actually has, and that the greater body of stuff that's in there goes way, way beyond just this idea that the NSA is surveilling us. There was a huge mistake that was made by the NSA, and that is they were spying
made a
on all of
mistake.
these military-industrial
Come on.
complex defense contractor type of
Snowden
entities.
is in the alliance now.
And they were bulk
So
collecting all of that
So
intel
stupid.
in their NSA servers.
Winter soldiers.
So
in
they
the
had stuff on the
chat.
secret
FF
space program. They
9000's
had
in
stuff
the
on
chat. Shout out to
the work
the
that's
kick
being
chat.
done off planet. They had stuff on these
Check in with
non-terrestrial
the
officers like what
subs
Gary McKinnon
once
found.
again.
Snowden's collection got
Oh,
all of that
yes.
stuff. And they only,
Yes!
the Alliance
We got
only
one.
actually broke the encryption on the
We have
data.
one sub in the kick chat. We've got two tonight. We had the Lucky Gremlin with one that became a subscriber. And now we have Scooter the Pooter. Shout out, and big support from Scooter the Cooter in the kick chat. He has become a subscriber. Praise the cash, hallelujah, my friends. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Scooter the
Praise
Pooter.
the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
It's some wackadoo YouTube channel. I'll find it for you. But we thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support. On the YouTube side, still need 8 more super chats of 5 or more each, and 24 minutes on the clock. And we are winding down. We've only got 17 minutes of the David Wilcock video here left. So, cutting it close. It's a nail biter again tonight, friends. But let's go. Let's hit the goal and get a new goal streak going.
Late last year, 2015. So now they've only had really a few months to actually start going through and find all the best stuff.
Being generous, yeah.
Over and over again,
He
you
just
see
babbles for like a half hour at a time
in the news.
You don't hear him.
And these hacks are being done by the Alliance. They're
The
hacking
interviewer
into
barely got
cabal
a word in
systems, and then they have a
edgewise.
vast team of people combing through the hacks to find the information that's going to bring the cabal down. The defeat of the cabal is a mathematical inevitability, and the way that defeat is going to happen will be the release of information that will make the public so enraged that at that point, the public is going to decide what they want to do about this. We don't know exactly when the operation is going to be completed.
This is
Now,
true.
I will
Every
say
interview
this.
I've seen of him is just
In the
electric.
past, I was
Yeah.
given several different date windows of when the mass arrest was going to happen. And this now goes back about 3 years from the time we're taping, which is in 2016. Multiple attempts have been made to do this, and those attempts were stopped by the cabal because they have incredible surveillance capabilities and they have artificially intelligent data metrics that allow them to
So
monitor.
for 3 years, people were giving him dates of these mass arrests leading up to 2016. But don't worry, friends, it's still happening soon. This is 2016. We're in 2025, David Wilcock, you fucking moron. Nope, there was no mass arrests. There never will be. It's a Q-tard talking point, you moron. But he stole it as his own, and he's been promising mass arrests, best as I can tell, since 1998.
Model out future probabilities and see what might happen in the future. So these people have so far thwarted the mass arrest attempts. It does appear at this time that the cabal is very, very concerned. What I'm hearing is they're moving tons and tons of assets, including personnel, to secret bases they have in South America and even bases under the ice in Antarctica. They are doing their best to try to hide out because they know something is going to happen.
Come on,
We know that there are mass.
This bases in Antarctica is total horseshit. Do you know what kind of energy it would take to keep a base running in Antarctica? Do you know what the average temperature in Antarctica is, David Wilcock, you fucking moron? Dave 7244, who's a member. Thank you for your kindness. With £2 says, I fall down the stairs in my dream a lot. Do you ever have that thing where you like fall in the dream and you suddenly wake up? That happens to me a bunch of times. That is trippy, right? But thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash.
Thank you, Dave. And Anime Chris says, the only thing getting mass arrested is that pizza DSP eats when he door dashes. Yeah, I don't understand DoorDash. Today, me and H-Bomb, I felt I wanted to buy him lunch, but the pizza place, it takes if you go and sit in this pizza place that's near my house, it takes forever to get the pizza. It takes like 30 or more minutes. But if you call, it takes 20 minutes to go pick it up. So we just went and picked it up. I don't do DoorDash, right? But yeah, I got my heater fixed. So today was a good day. My wife is very happy because now she's going to throw me out of the studio room and make a guest room for her mom. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen real soon. I'm going to lose it. She's like, there's room in the garage. Oh, great. I'm going to be in the garage. And now that I finally have heat in my music studio room, I'm going to get evicted into another room that has no heat, the garage. But it is what it is. I got to keep the wife happy, right?
Evacuation plans in place. We know that Congress is going to become a ghost town. You'll hear nothing but the cry of the crow and some tumbleweed blowing through the back of the building once this thing happens. They're going to try to escape.
It's funny hearing all these predictions from 2016 because now we know, hindsight, none of this shit that he was talking about ever happened. And it never will because he's a fraud and a con artist and a scammer and a loser who just makes shit up. And he says he's a prophet. If he's a prophet, he's the worst prophet in the history of all humanity because he's always wrong. Listen, we've watched through this whole thing and all these prophetic predictions he made back in 2016. Not a one of them ever happened.
They're not going to be allowed to escape. All of them are going to be tracked, and they will be brought to justice. It's going to be one of the most amazing, revelatory moments in our planet's history. My own dreams have told me for a long time that the work that I've done is going to be elevated to much more public prominence once this happens because it will be known to everyone. I'm taking steps in my life right now to prepare for that. I'm not looking forward to it because it means the loss of my anonymity. It means that anywhere I go in public, people will know who I am. And that's going to include some people who will probably think that I was responsible. If they don't like what happened, there's going to be a lot of confusion, a lot of suspicion. But again, the truth will set you free. Now, one of the things that needs to be made clear here is that there are different extraterrestrials out there, some of which are positive, some of which are very negative. So Queen Elizabeth, through John Dee, her court astrologer, gained access to the negative ones.
Oh, God.
Those negative ones appear to be of a reptilian type of genetic stock, where they look human, but they also have reptilian features, such as vertical slit pupils and scaly skin. This is going to be a real shock for people because it violates the idea of us being the only species in the universe. It violates the idea that we're totally safe. But again,
the bullshit I've been doing is
authorized
troll,
and they can't work directly on Earth. They can only work through humans who do their bidding. That's another part of the rules. They can't just show up and do an alien invasion. That's not going to happen. There are positive, benevolent beings that are preventing that from occurring. So one of the most interesting and bizarre aspects of my journey started in October 2014 when Corey Goode came forward.
Here he is.
And started to give me information about his work in the secret space program, as he called it.
Yes. So now he's going to brag that he has a government insider, Corey Goode, who gave him all this information on the secret space program that he was a part of. And he's bragging that he has this government insider, Corey Goode. But we now know that Corey Goode made up all of his stories. All of his stories were fake, right? So this is funny because he's bragging about having a government insider here. You mean a fake government insider that made up fake stories and scammed the UFO community with you, David Wilcock? Great job scamming everybody with completely fake stories that you two clowns claimed were true stories.
Up until this point, I had spoken to at least 5 or 6 other insiders who had met with extraterrestrials directly. In many cases, they had actually worked in bases off planet. They had given me very specific, detailed information that I had never gone public with because that's how I can sort out truth tellers from charlatans.
Oh, bullshit. All of his insiders are criminals and charlatans and frauds and fakes and losers. Let's see. He's had a court-martialed PDF file. That was one of his insiders. He's had Corey Good, who made up all his fake stories. Who else has he had as an insider? Emery Smith, who's a complete and total falling down drunk alcoholic, right? Those are his insiders. Alcoholics, PDF files, and storytelling bullshit artists. You don't have real insiders. You have frauds.
Corey Good comes along, and in the first conversation alone, there were probably 50 different points of correlation of things that he was saying that I had independently gathered from other whistleblowers. And this includes the idea...
That's because Corey Good mined his information from Project Avalon.
...that ultimately this cabal that we've been talking about is being run by these Draco-reptilian extraterrestrials, which most people think of as demons or the devil. Even the idea...
Demons or the devil. Humboldt Honey has been a member for 2 months and has a very important question. Has Corey Good won any of his lawsuits? No, he's lost every single lawsuit. He has lost every single lawsuit that he filed. And he has lost something, I think, like $100,000 that he has to pay back to the plaintiffs he sued because he has to pay their court costs because he lost the cases. And now he's declaring bankruptcy to try to get out of paying all those people because he's a scumbag, Humboldt Honey. And thanks for being a member for 2 months. Big support.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And let's see. We're counting down. 14 minutes left on the goal and 8 to go. Oh, it doesn't look like we're starting a new goal streak. Not a good way to start off the week, but we'll take the support we can get, and thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support. Yes, Corey, Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council and secret space grifter. That's right. And Wing Towing is here and said, I'd love to see his face when they told him he was getting $0. $0 for you. All right, let's continue. We've only got 13 more minutes
left.
The
collective mythological idea of the devil is somehow
correlates
based
to our
on
gold
truth,
timer quite
because
well.
It's a reptilian type of being with vertical slit pupils, scary sharp teeth, and a scaly
This is
type
before
of
he
appearance
said
to its
reptilians
skin
are them.
with claws.
They graped him. They graped him.
So it sounds really crazy, and I totally get that. But when you start talking to 5 people, 10 people who know the same things, and they all independently have said this stuff, I can no longer be comfortable in ignorance and try to stuff this down the memory hole and act like it doesn't really exist.
So here David Wilcock thinks if 5 people say similar things, they all must be telling the truth. It can't be that all 5 of them scraped from UFO mythology to come up with their stories and are telling similar stories because it's all from the same seed or root mythology source. This is childish, intellectually flawed, and just absolutely idiotic. Multiple people saying the same things when none of them have any evidence of the things they're saying is not proof. David Wilcock. That's false equivocation.
So one of the things that has happened is that these new beings appeared in our solar system in these gigantic spheres that are between Neptune and Jupiter in size. They're really, really massive. And they entered in through the sun and also from the outside in.
Oh, well, look at that. We've got some more support on Kick from Scooter the Pooter has gifted a sub. So make sure that if you're the person who got a sub from Scooter the Pooter, and yes, I think FF9000 was gifted a sub by Scooter the Pooter. So thank you, Scooter the Pooter, for gifting a sub on Kick. Big support on Kick tonight. We've got 3 supporters on Kick. We've got here. We'll call them all out because I love the Kick support. The Lucky Gremlin became a subscriber. Scooter the Pooter became a subscriber, and then Scooter the Pooter gifted a sub. So 3 bits of support from 2 great people. Thank you all for your kindness.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash.
All right, let's try to get through this bullshit fest. I can't believe we will have done the whole hour and a half. This is just like 90 minutes of a schizophrenic, ranting lunatic mixing together all kinds of different conspiracy land garbage, man. It was a blend of bullshit, the likes of which I haven't seen in quite some time.
Our government was aware that they were out there, but they wouldn't respond to hailing signals. They just hung out and they didn't talk. They didn't say who they were, what was going on.
Yes, awesome adventures.
That all changed just a few months after Corey started to talk to me, wherein, if you believe this, and I do believe this is actually true, the first thing these beings from the spheres, these gigantic spheres, told
he's
the secret space
repeating
program
David
people
Wilcock
was,
stories
find this
like
man
they're
Corey
true.
Good and bring him up here. We want to talk.
Lovely. They're all fake, you asshole.
So
He admitted
it actually
these
did
stories are
happen
fake.
that Corey
You're
was brought up,
repeating them
and
like a
all of the
moron.
intel that he had given me up until then went over
Intel.
into a whole new category because
Fake
now he's being
stories.
brought in
Fake stories are now intel.
to the active battle that's being done now. Why did these extraterrestrials do this? I believe the answer is that they saw that I was in a position to take the information that Corey was giving me and to deploy it out there into the public, which we soon did because I was working for the Gaia Network, and we ended up with a show in which we're doing a half an hour a week of Corey's disclosure called Cosmic Disclosure. So now there's over 52 episodes of that, over a year of him releasing all this stuff, and that show launched only a few months after he was brought up there. So very quickly, we were able to accurately and intelligently deploy the information, just like we're now doing in this video. We need people to know about this because these changes affect all of us. The cabal apparently has been fleeing to Antarctica, and there is now a massive effort to try to flee the planet in their ships, but those ships are being shot down. There are new craft that have showed up that are essentially triangular shaped, about the size of fighter jets. They're being called Chevron craft. Nobody really knows whose craft they are. It appears to be some kind of surprise secret weapon built by the Alliance here on Earth. It's very high technology, very advanced.
You know what's so striking about all of this is that everything he said for this whole interview so far is all "trust me, bro," or "Corey Good told me." Well, we know Corey Good made up all his stories and they were fake, you moron, and you're repeating them like they're real because you're a fucking moron.
And even the Draco reptilians do not have adequate technology to defend against the attacks of these Chevron craft. So their craft are being shot down.
They're gas
and they are
station
being
UFOs
now in Antarctica. They can't leave.
A good bullshit
All of this
story.
suggests to me that these are precursor events that will eventually lead to the open exposure and defeat of the cabal and their overlords. And those overlords are being kept here. They're not being allowed to leave.
Well, this is 2016, so the cabal overlords have not been defeated yet, David.
So that as we go,
I guess this story was fake too, huh?
Go through this gradual awakening and we learn what's been done, that the people who did this to us will have to stand trial, will have to be held accountable for the crimes that they committed and brought to justice.
8 minutes left on the goal and 8 $5 super chats to go.
There is a reason why the Snowden documents have not been released in full. And the answer is that the cabal has an internet kill switch.
This guy is
they need to have the particular pieces in play before this information is released, because if the information is released before people are sufficiently angry, then they will think that it's fake or some kind of psyop. So what the Alliance has been waiting for is that their efforts to defeat the cabal are successful enough that it actually does go through a very openly obvious thing that makes everybody very angry. Now, one of the things that the cabal has done is they passed laws at the end of the year 2015, right during Christmas, when everybody's home, nobody's paying attention, they're all having dinner with their family. The cabal actually passed laws, and this appeared in an article on the Huffington Post. It was on the front page. People didn't pay attention to this, in which Congress passed laws that said that if the U.S. declares bankruptcy, which it already is, that they will go into everyone's bank accounts and take their money to bail out the government, just like they did in Cyprus, where everybody got a haircut of 40% of all their assets, regardless of how much money you have. They just take 40%.
We got to praise the cash hard.
That is one of the things that the cabal may try to do to save their own necks when they really get desperate. And if they try to do that, you better believe that people are going to be so angry that then they will be receptive to hearing about the wrong that this group has done. But if you just indiscriminately release that information now, people say, what do you mean everything's fine? I got a car, I have food at the grocery store, I drive my kids to soccer practice, and we hang out on the
Yes.
weekend, we go to work during the week, our lives are fine.
You know what I always thought would be funny? If David Wilcock got arrested for like 18 crimes at once, that would be a mass arrest, right? And his prediction will finally come true. Like, what if he suddenly got arrested for every scam he's ever run on the internet? Allegedly run. Suffer, David Wilcock. We're going to get you a new roommate named Tyrone, and he likes cuddling.
Everything's fine. What's your problem? Why do you have to be so negative? So what they need to do is wait for things to get obvious enough that people are activated. And videos like this can help that awakening take place, because it's just like an alcoholic.
Yeah, back here
who
he
has to
seems
hit
more
bottom
convincing.
before they go into recovery.
Now he's obviously
You
on the
can
way
raise the
down.
bottom. You can
Exactly.
decide when you've
Yes.
had enough. As people become more educated, you will learn what's going on, and you will see the need for change. And then you'll be able to help other people. Tell them to watch this video. Tell them to
Yes.
inform themselves.
He's gay.
Get the
He
truth
likes
out.
cuddling with
That will bring
Tyrone.
us to our goal
That is
much faster.
correct.
A lot was covered in that interview,
A lot of bullshit,
you know,
yeah.
the few people that we did release this interview to had incredible feedback about it. They were really moved by it.
This moron interviewed David Wilcock, and hey, by the way, moron, you fucking retard, everything he said in this interview, none of it happened. None of it was true. He's citing fake sources. Trust me, bro, but you made money off of it, so you're okay with it, you moron, you idiot. People like this are part of the problem. These are the bottom feeders of conspiracy land. They're all too willing to platform a complete and total bullshit huckster as long as they get some money out of it. And that's part of the problem.
Thought it was an awesome interview, and we had released a couple of clips from it not too long ago that people were really, really engaged by. So I hope you enjoyed this one. A couple of the things, you know, whether we're all in different spots in our journey when we talk about some of the stuff that's going on inside this particular interview. You know, some of us are very familiar with the subject of ETs and UFOs. Some of us aren't. If you happen to not be, and you were hearing some of the stuff he was talking about, it almost sounded like, you know, wow, this is way out there. I mean, I don't even understand ETs. What do you mean UFOs and all that sort of stuff? I thought that stuff was just all, you know, kind of like a joke, or kind of like, you know, there was no evidence of it, or there's just...
There is no evidence. In this entire interview, you moron, you didn't stop him one time to ask him for evidence of any of his fantastic claims. Not once. Excellent interview skills. You just let him spew bullshit for almost 90 minutes straight because you were going to make money off of that bullshit. So you love this bullshit. You are a disinformation, misinformation, garbage peddler.
It's only bad pictures. You know, this is something that I hear all the time is people will come up to me and they'll tell me, you know, the thing with the ET thing is there is no evidence.
Yes.
Like, why is there only a shaky
Everything on
picture
top
of this,
of
that, whatever?
everything.
And I say to them, I said, it's not that there's no evidence. It's that you haven't looked at it. You haven't
show
seen
us.
it. You
Show
haven't
us
been
all the
exposed
best
to it.
evidence.
And there's a few
There
reasons
is
for
none.
that, right? There's the fact that obviously this is not
Grainy
covered in the
pictures
mainstream
and
very
fake
much.
stories.
Only
That's
recently
it.
did we see that first
And
clip
fake
from the Air
CGI
Force come
video.
out, and it was covered
That's
in the
what you have for
mainstream. But
evidence.
beyond that, you know, nothing's
Evidence
really
equals
been covered.
trust me, bro.
And so
Yeah.
what happens is it's not that the information is not there, because the reality is there are droves and droves. There's so much of this information available. It's unbelievable. And it comes in the forms of whistleblowers,
Fake whistleblowers,
declassified documents,
fake declassified documents.
eyewitness cases,
Okay, the eyewitness cases are anecdotal.
insiders. There's information.
Insiders. You mean insiders like the insiders Wilcock mentioned? Corey Good, who's a fake government insider, whose only experience working for the government was being in the National Guard for a short time as a computer tech. Is that really a government insider? Come on, you loser, you moron, you garbage peddler, disinformation, fucking huckster.
All over the place about ET and ET disclosure, the reality of UFOs, human contact with extraterrestrials.
Well,
them working
only
with
2
the
minutes
government.
left on the
I mean,
gold
people
timer.
have come forward all over the place
Oh,
from high-ranking
sad
places.
one. No
And you
new
can go
gold
through. I
streak
mean, here in the office, we have our own filing cabinet of, you know, declassified
Yeah,
documents, and
trumpet
inside
monologue.
those
You are
declassified
correct.
documents, there's
That's how it works.
tons of UFO-related material, and this all comes from CIA, NSA, FBI, right? All that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
there are some,
So
but it
it's out
doesn't
there.
prove alien
Now,
visitation.
where's a good place to start? I'd recommend the film Unacknowledged. Why? Because, made by Stephen Greer, who's been in this for a while.
Oh
my
my
good
God.
buddy, Michael Mazzola.
Yeah, made by Stephen Greer. That's a real trustworthy. Do you know how many times he scammed his audience? You fucking moron. This guy's dumber than David Wilcock's usual followers.
Who directed it.
I think this guy might be definitely at least a little retarded. Absolutely a little bit.
Also put a ton of love into that film, so I got to give him a little shout out in this. But at the same time, I know that film is really a good starting point / a good refresher for those of us who've been into the field for quite a while. Yeah, it's not the be all end all in terms of depth of information, but if you're new to the subject, it's a great place to start.
Yeah, and Stephen Greer is another person who's been at this UFO scam for decades and has produced exactly zero verifiable evidence. But he has been caught hoaxing flares as alien spaceships, hoaxing a cactus as an alien being, hoaxing a moth as an interdimensional light being. He's been caught in a number of hoaxes. The Atacama humanoid hoax. You're promoting people who promote fake shit. Like, what good are you doing society helping bullshit artists bullshit people? Absolutely no good whatsoever.
And then one of the final couple of things I wanted to bring up here was, we hear a lot about new technologies coming in, and one of the biggest thing that sort of challenges us or holds us back is we begin to think about the fact that, if all these new technologies were released and suddenly the medical field lost a ton of jobs and the technological field lost a ton of jobs, and, we just start seeing different things being taken over by automation or by technologies that can simplify things. And suddenly we're worried about jobs, we're worried about whether or not we're going to support ourselves. The note to make here is that, when these technologies come out, we're also going to see a pretty big radical shift in the way our world functions from a financial perspective.
And this is back in 2016, and none of those technologies have come out. Do you know why? Because those technologies don't exist. They're science fiction. They're stories, you moron.
These technologies really illustrate abundance, right? It means that we're able to come about bringing
more hope for the hopeless.
Forth abundance, whether it be within the food industry, whether it be with energy, whether it be with healthcare, whether it be with housing, all that sort of stuff. This planet and the people that are here, all of us souls, there's no shortage of us being able to create whatever it is that we want. The only thing that limits that is the systems and structures that we have in place.
Oh, it's the system's fault that we don't have abundance. So all you hopeless people that don't like the system, come and watch my bullshit.
The other thing is we typically have this belief that there always has to be an economy. There always has to be trade or exchange of something, right? That comes as a result of the mindset that we've been living under for such.
This guy was so inspired by David Wilcock's BS, he had to tack on his own BS at the end of the interview.
Such a long time,
which is about equally as worthless as the whole entire interview.
Is we need money to survive. We need some form of exchange. But that's really just a belief system. Humans do not require.
Oh, by the way, I didn't put it up through tonight's broadcast, and I apologize for that. But I just want to put on the record, because David Wilcock loves to get me falsely copyright claimed or stricken. This is a transformative work. We're educating the public. We're critiquing the video that we are sharing. This is covered under fair use and is allowable by law. You can clearly see this is a transformative work. I even transformed the original video. So this is clearly fair use. And any attempts to falsely copyright claim me or my channel or steal my ad revenue will be met with my legal letters. By the way, there's some good news. David Wilcock's false copyright claims have failed against me twice. We've won the last 2 cases in the past 30 days or so. Well, it takes 30 days. David Wilcock has been holding my ad revenue hostage by falsely claiming I violated his copyrights. We won every one of those false copyright claims so far, and we will continue to win them, so lawyer letters are standing by. David Wilcock should not be allowed to hold my ad revenue hostage. It's immoral, it's unethical, and it's probably illegal.
The need for exchange. we see those sorts of things on planets that are typically dealing with
Yeah,
enslavement.
more
right?
L's
When we're
for
dealing with some
Wilcock,
sort of
more
elite or
wins
some
for
sort
me.
of power structure or some sort of
Yes, please
experience
do like,
where we're
share, and
trying to be,
subscribe,
or
and
we're
watch another
attempting to
one of
be
the videos.
enslaved by, through an experiential realm, right? We're looking to be enslaved by what it is that we have set up. So the monetary system leads to enslavement, which is what we have today. So when we don't need to experience enslavement anymore, which is what we're going through, which is
Oh,
what
yes,
this
we're
shift
all
is all about,
enslaved,
which is what's
yes.
happening, which is why you're watching this video, we're not going to need the monetary system as we are,
Oh,
because
we
we're going
won't
to
need
evolve
any
beyond
money.
that.
We
And not
don't
only
need any
that,
money.
we
We'll
won't need
evolve beyond
these primitive
money.
forms of exchange or trade or this sorts of stuff, bartering, right?
All
Because
right,
that's
so put a 1 in the live chat if you think this guy is dumber than David Wilcock, and put a 2 in the live chat if you think this guy is smarter than David Wilcock.
all within a mindset, a consciousness that talks about a lack of ability, a lack of abundance, a lack of having stuff available. So that's something to keep in mind, is really it's about expanding our consciousness when we hear these things outside of comparing it or coming up with, I guess you could say like
So far,
rebuttals that
everybody,
are
most of the
based
people
on
think that he's
the way
dumber
we
than
see
David
the world
Wilcock.
today.
I agree. He's dumber
And finally,
than
one of the last things I wanted to bring up here is when we're talking about the elite, we're talking about the cabal, I just want to continue to drive home that message that they are not necessarily this big, evil, negative, we got to kill them sort of thing, right? They're playing a role. And the role they've been playing has been serving us in a number of different ways, right? To see, to
Wait, so we're being enslaved by the rich, the powerful elite, but we shouldn't do anything about that? How does this make sense?
gain our own power, to gain our own strength, to see through the veil, to do all these different things that we're being challenged to do right here, right now. And in that way, it's all part of the process. So in order to move beyond a world where we have the cabal, where we have the elite, it's about seeing through the veil, but then allowing ourselves to not get caught up in the anger, the fear.
I love it. Let's see through the veil as he's producing an entire interview full of complete and total garbage with David Wilcock. Do you mean we should see through the lies that you're pushing down our throats? Is that what we should do? Pierce the veil. See through the lies. Come on, man. I love how all these people are like, we're about exposing the truth, and all they do is lie to you. All they do is lie to you.
Being super vengeful about everything that they've done and what they've been a part of, but in essence, move beyond the need for what they've provided, which is a level of control and enslavement and keeping us held down and tightened down.
They're enslaving us. They're keeping us held down, but we don't need to kill them.
As we become elevated, we shift our consciousness, we get into our hearts. You'll know where you're in your heart when you're able to look at what the elite are doing and say, hey, you know what? That doesn't resonate with me.
That doesn't resonate.
I don't want to continue down that path. But you're not looking to kill them and hang them by their necks and doing all that sort of stuff, because that keeps us in a lower state of consciousness, of anger, of fear, of revenge.
Oh, this is the love and light garbage portion of the broadcast. Yes, I get it.
Right? Which is part of what they're trying to keep us in the first place. So that's just something to keep in mind, is really just expand yourself, challenge yourself to be able to look at what's been going on, being okay with the fact that it doesn't resonate with you. You don't want to see it continue happening, but
this system does not resonate with me. Therefore, it has no power over me. Come on, we're all cogs in a wheel, buddy.
not allowing yourself to drive deep into that anger and that fear mode, which honestly is just keeping us in the state we're in today. Anywho, hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks again for being part of supporting Collective Evolution here and driving.
Collective Evolution. That's this guy's YouTube channel. And interestingly, the guy took it off of his YouTube channel. I bet you he took it off of his YouTube channel after the big Corey Good reveal that all that shit was fake. Let's see if his channel's still there. Yeah, Collective Evolution. His channel's still there, and it's all a bunch of Gaia nonsense, right? It's basically Gaia bullshit nonsense, but this guy gets no views. Like, he had a recent live stream 7 months ago, 1,000 views. Wow. Apocalypse or Evolution, 779 views. Let's check if he left the David. Well, he took this interview down. Why would you take this interview down? Yeah, it's gone. This interview is gone from his YouTube channel, which is at Collective Evolution, right? One moment, please. My wife is interviewing me about tomorrow's dinner, and I've decided I'm going to make stuffed peppers, even though it takes forever, because we haven't had stuffed peppers in forever, right? So this is funny. This guy took this whole interview down.
Deeper with your consciousness and
Why would he take the whole interview down? Did he suddenly realize it was all bullshit years later?
taking things to the next level. We have a ton more content, and be sure to enjoy it. Take care.
Oh yeah, I'll be sure to enjoy it. I sure enjoyed that. No, I didn't. I did not enjoy that, right? So we want to take a moment to thank all of you kind and generous benefactors for the support. We didn't hit the support goal tonight, but hopeful that we'll hit it tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you will be here with me. No place I would rather be. And I hope that you'll be here with me. I've got a very fun show planned for you tomorrow. And sometime this week, we will likely do a Corey Good update, because Corey Good did a recent interview where he lied through his teeth about the court cases. He lied through his teeth about David Wilcock being swatted and all of this stuff. And you want to talk about more on show hosts, right? And even though we didn't hit the goal, I'm going to give you some of the bonus content that I had planned for this evening. One moment here. This is from Macario, where David Wilcock talks about how much money he makes and how it's really not enough to survive. Just want to put it out there, like, no matter how enraged you think this grifter makes you, when you hear him complain about how much money he makes and how it's barely enough to survive, it's even worse, friends. Let's take a listen. And by the way, this is, again, fair use, transformative work. We're educating the public and critiquing the video that we are sharing. This is fair use, David Wilcock. Don't you dare falsely copyright claim me. I'm winning every claim. Do you really want another loss and hand me another win? Lawyer letters are standing by, you asshole.
So, I do make about maybe 10 grand a month on this, but that includes all the super chats and all the ads and everything. So it's not really enough, but it is sustainable. And I do thank you guys for participating.
It's not really enough. 10 grand a month is not really enough.
Certainly not big money as far as I'm concerned. My mortgage is well over half that amount. Food and everything else costs a lot. It's a flash sale because we are about to get funded. But until we do, it's a nail biter. I'm coming up towards the end of the month, and I barely have enough money to pay my mortgage as usual.
He's making 10 grand a month, but he still barely has enough to pay his mortgage.
Been this way for 3 years. I've been essentially bankrupt. I have to have ads on this or else I don't get any protection, and we wouldn't even be able to do the show. So the ads are a necessary thing.
Yeah, it should have sad violin
one
music.
Of the only sources of income
I'm going to recut this with sad.
As I said, I'm getting about
music.
10 grand a month from that. My mortgage is like $6,200.
My rent, and then he caught himself. My mortgage.
There isn't a whole lot left over. Plus, I've been
according to papers, he doesn't own that house. The holding company does.
With my nonprofit, and so
by the
he's
way,
actually getting like $3,000 a month right there.
This is completely and totally illegal. If you run a nonprofit, none of your friends or family are allowed to profit from your nonprofit funds. And here he just admitted that he's giving a friend $3,000 a month from his charitable contributions. That's fraud, David Wilcock. I believe that's illegal. If you run a nonprofit, your friends and family are not allowed to profit from your nonprofit. And he just said, I'm giving a friend $3,000 a month out of my nonprofit money.
So $3,000 of my money is going to help somebody who is one of my insiders and is dying. And both of them are actually, well, I don't know if they're dying. We're helping him stay alive longer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, same here.
So yeah, even in this state where I have so little money, I'm helping somebody who otherwise would be homeless and probably dead already, with at least $3,000 a month.
Yeah, he's helping a guy not be homeless. Come on.
You add all that up, there's nothing left, and that's why I have to keep doing this. I have to keep doing shows so I have a stable income. They cut him off on his pension. They cut him off on everything. So they literally have no money at all except for me. And to keep them alive, it costs about $3,000.
we joke about, I say
He's
just
got to
8
keep
cents
them
a day,
alive.
but it costs about $3,000 a month. Sometimes, actually, I've been having to give him more now because he's had so many problems. But yeah, that's who I am. I'll take the last of my money to keep one of my friends and his wife alive, because that's what I believe in is truth and justice and freedom.
Donate, because I'm giving money to
I'm
poor
only making
people.
like 10 grand a month, beginning in around February of this year. That's when I started to do regular weekly shows again. And then
when
that
you live
income
in
is
a mansion,
stabilized.
he
me.
lives
It's
in a
about 10 grand a
mansion,
month, as I said.
and he's complaining he
It's a little
doesn't
bit
have
more
any
than that
money.
now. People
Well, maybe
thinking, oh my
you don't
God,
need a
David's making
mansion.
all this money. No, we make about $10,000 a month on YouTube. It's the YouTube income. This comes out to about like 20 grand a month if you average it all out. But I've been keeping our aerospace company going, so a lot of money went into that. And I had to have,
the fake aerospace company that for 30 years hasn't produced a single airplane product or service. And up until recently, their only income was from, according to court documents, one, a garbage dumpster company storing dumpsters in their hangar facility, and two, a sewage company dumping, quote, fill on the property. They're literally letting a sewage company dump shit on their property, and they got evicted from a part of the property for doing that illegally, I believe, allegedly.
huge tax payments, 6,000, well, actually more like 6,500 a month for all the tax payments. And then I also have had a friend who and his wife.
If he's only getting 10 grand a month, how's he paying?
Pass away.
Let's do some math. He said his YouTube income is only $10,000 a month. Then he said he's paying $6,500 a month in taxes and $3,000 a month to keep his friend alive who's dying. Isn't that $9,500? Then how are you also paying your mortgage, which is thousands of dollars a month? So he's lying about his income. I believe he's lying about his income, and it's much more than 10 grand a month. He's playing poor to get the donators to keep donating more and more money.
I think it was very sad.
Which basically could be considered a form of consumer fraud. If he's lying, saying, oh, my income's only 10 grand a month and I'm barely able to survive, and his income is really 20, that's a form of consumer fraud, in my opinion. But I'm not a lawyer or law enforcement officer. What can I do about him lying to the public in order to solicit more and more donations? But it shows you the truly scammy, scummy nature of David Wilcock. Oh, okay. We've reached the end. All right. One moment. I think did I miss a previous super chat? If I ever miss a super chat, feel free to chime in. Yes, I did. I missed a few. So we'll call those out before we end tonight's broadcast. Flint Westwood says, greetings from the IT cave again. And thank you for that. Flint Westwood is here with, could have been one for the goal, but it's fine. We'll take it whenever we can get it. Flint Westwood is a big show supporter. It says, greeting from the IT cave again. Overtime has paid off. Got a retro truck. That sounds great. You know what I really want? I really want an old 4-wheel drive pickup truck. And someday I will manifest one, Flint Westwood. But congratulations on the new retro truck that's in mint condition from 94. I would love one from 94. Can say my money is better used than DSP. Well, absolutely. Anybody, you could spend your money on crack cocaine and spend your money better than Dark Side Phil, right?
Michael the Archangel told me to praise the cash. This kid Steven is telling the truth, so praise the cash. Suffa Wilcock.
Ha ha! Suffa Wilcock. Yes, and I saw one more in there, at least. There we go. Echo Bats is here with one for the goal. Is giving a dying insider $3,000 a month, what his charity was set up to do. He took his donor's money, then gave it to a friend, but he ran it through his charity. Yeah, if it sounds really shady, it's because it is. It's gross, Echo Bats. And we showed everybody with his charity, he collected like hundreds of thousands of dollars and he spent it all basically on himself. And then there's a bumper. I think I have it somewhere here. There is a bumper in which he describes basically committing charity fraud, because he basically says that this broadcast is sponsored by the Wilcock Foundation. You're not allowed to collect You're not allowed to spend charitable donations on equipment and then make for-profit streams with the same equipment. That's completely and totally illegal. And then there's the issue where he spent like $5,000 or $4,500 one year on meals and entertainment, I guess for him and his wife. So they're taking in all this charitable donations. They're not doing any charity that anybody can see. What we were able to determine from the paperwork is that he basically takes in hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then he gives something like a penny or a nickel, as best I recall, on the dollar to other charities. But he doesn't actually do any charitable work himself. So the whole thing is very shady. By the way, when I was talking about all his various scams, I forgot to include that. I believe that the charity is one of the scams. And I'm entitled to my opinion based on all available evidence. But again, I'm not a law enforcement officer. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what the laws are, but we can look some of them up. And I do know that you can't take charitable funds and give them to friends or family as charity. And you also can't take charitable funds and buy a bunch of webcams, software, equipment, expensive cameras, and then use that same equipment to do for-profit streams on YouTube. That should only be used for the charity work. So he's fucked, man. If any if any government agency gets to him, he could have a real problem, Echo Bats. But thank you for your kindness and generosity.
Kid Steven promised to praise the cash on me long and hard, so praise the cash.
All right. Thank you for your kindness. Echo Bats is a member and a big supporter, and we appreciate you. Thanks for appreciating us, and God bless you and all our supporters. Thomas Robinson with £1.99 super sticker. Thank you for your kindness and generosity.
That kid Steven said he would leave me alone if I called him daddy. Praise the cash, daddy. Praise the cash, daddy.
All right. So I think, my friends, we have done our due diligence. You can sell your soul for your needs. Yeah, I guess. Interesting that Mr. Wilcock is able to get away with all of this shady shit. And what gets me is what fascinates me is there never seems to be any consequences, right? Like he just keeps on going. He gets done one scam, he starts a new scam, in my opinion. And there never seems to be any kind of consequences. Like if you or I ran a scam like that, even one of them, we would probably get arrested. But somehow David Wilcock is able to keep going. And he just comes up. Listen, when this Archangel Michael scam is done, when he's finished with this Archangel Michael scam, he's going to start a new scam. I guarantee he'll just start a new scam, which is funny, right? Like he's just going to shuffle away. That's why I think he sold that house, because he's desperate for money to survive for about a year without being on the internet, because he's going to hope that everybody forgets how he scammed the audience so that he could just come back in with a brand new scam. And that's my prediction. He's going to do the Cosmic Con shuffle, which is where they go away for a little while and hope everybody forgot that they scammed their audience. And then he's going to come back with, new scams. But it is what it is, and this is where we find ourselves. And where I find myself is ending tonight's broadcast. We want to take a moment to thank you, kind and generous benefactors, you Kick.com supporters who become a subscriber or give some subs. We thank you for that, and I will check in one more time with the Kick chat, make sure we don't have anything else over there to call out. And we'll take a moment to thank you, Patreon supporters, you YouTube channel members, super stickers, super thanks, people. And okay, nothing over on Kick. And people buying me a beer, instructions for how to help the show. You can make a PayPal pledge. You can buy me a beer. You could send a super chat. Hey, you could send a super thanks. Even if you're watching a replay, you can hit that thanks button, throw a couple bucks in our hat. And we appreciate all of the support. Thanks for appreciating us. We certainly appreciate you. Operation Shutdown says Cosmic Con Shuffle incoming. Yeah, he does it every time. It's a pattern of his. So we've done our due diligence. I'm going to bounce on out of here, but I'll be back tomorrow night, friends. Pardon me. I'm doing the Dark Side Phil thing. Yes, I'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got a very fun show for you. No place I would rather be, and I hope you'll be here with us. And let me know in the chat and the live comments, do you want us to do a special Kick-only Halloween show this week? If so, I'll try to fit it in. I've got some cool masks I'd like to try out, and I thought we could do something fun, like a watch party for like old horror movies, like maybe Nosferatu. That's in the public domain. It must be in the public domain though. It must be old enough that it's in the public domain. If you have suggestions for that, email them to me at truthseekershow@gmail.com. And just so everybody knows, when we do these kick-only open panel shows, you can join the show. So this week, sometime, you not only can get to watch the show or listen to the show, you can join the show and actually be a part of it. So we want to thank all of you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. But that's all I got for you. So until next time, friends, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.